Hi guys. Hello, welcome to the stream! The music fucking stopped, cause like, I'm using Spotify. And it's on an ad right now. I have ad block, but it doesn't actually like block the ad, it doesn't skip it, it just like mutes it. So there's usually like little pauses in between music. But hello, how you guys doing? Hello, hello. Okay. Just adjusting my camera. Okay. Oh, I didn't bring up my chat. There it is. Hi, guys! Welcome, welcome! Okay. I'm kind of like all over the place right now, so I'm trying to like set shit up. I haven't streamed in a hot minute. Didn't even make a new thumbnail for this. I just used up whatever I had. I just used an existing like unboxing thumbnail, so it's probably not the most appropriate. I don't know. Let's see. Live stream. Let me make sure everything's set up correctly. I'll look over it a bit quickly. See how everything's doing. You guys can hear me just fine, right? I ask that and I don't like a chat afterwards because I'm in the middle of something. I'll find out when I look back at the chat. Okay. That's it. Hi guys. Okay, I'm looking at shit now. Hello, hello. Haven't been to one of these streams in a while. Hope you're doing okay. This is lowercase delta. Thank you for joining. I'm doing my best, dude. I am doing my best. I wanted to wait a bit and stream later, maybe like in a day or two, because like I could really use like the little serotonin boost at the moment. But there's a hurricane coming my way, guys. There's a hurricane hitting Florida and like starting tomorrow, I believe. I think the rain might start hitting today. Like it already started raining today, but I think like the eye of the storm is gonna hit like late tomorrow, early Wednesday. Yeah, so I don't think I'll be able to stream then. And honestly, I really want to open up these manga because I could really use. I want to like unbox it just because unboxing, of course, it's like a fucking. You already know what you're getting, but it feels like a fucking present, dude. So I want to unbox stuff and then give myself something to read. To get my mind off stuff, you know. I'm doing my best. Doing my best. Let's see. Let's put this up. Yeah. Hello. Hello. Hi. Doing my best. Yeah. Yeah. Just a heads up. Just a heads up. If like. I would put a little trigger warning in the bottom. I don't know if I did it correctly because I don't really often put trigger warnings on anything. I don't think I had like ever really had to put trigger warnings, but we're very likely going to discuss the situation with my cat. That just happened yesterday. So hopefully no accidental doxing this time. Yeah, okay, at least this kind of like I think I can prevent that because like the box is too big to fit on my desk. So I'm just gonna like grab some like manga and put it on my desk and then like unbox them there. I'm not actually gonna put the box here because it's too big. Not very great timing. I kind of spoiled myself with making like the biggest manga order I've ever made before. I usually only order like I usually make big orders of manga like maybe semi-annually, like twice a year, maybe sometimes 3 times a year if it's like smaller orders. But usually, like, how I order manga is at the shop, the comic shop I buy from online. They would have, like, sales, right? They have good sales every so often. And once they have, like, 40 to 50% off sales, I try to look through there. I try to get when they have 50% off sales. But sometimes, you know, they have 40% off. And I wanted to spoil myself because at the time I was working pretty hard. I'm like, I got some money coming in. I'll spoil myself with this manga. There's a good deal. And then I was gonna unbox the manga late last week. I think Friday, but my cat's health went down, so that obviously took priority. But I'm unboxing the manga now. I'm like 90% sure I'm gonna cry on stream, guys. Like 90% sure I'm gonna cry on stream. I'm sorry. Just a warning, guys. Just a warning. I feel like I might have to private this VOD afterwards. I might have to do that. We'll see. But if something happens, if I fucking cry, then I fucking cry. You know, the only reason why I don't want to cry is because I feel like once the floodgates open, it won't stop. So I'm gonna try to hold back. I'm sorry. Yeah, a lot of shit's happening right now. Was it the best idea to stream right now? I don't know, but it's like, I don't personally mind like crying in front of people. I think it's more so a matter of like whether they feel comfortable around it, and also just like, you know, right place, right time. But guys, this is my stream, so just giving a heads up, if you are uncomfortable with the topics of like pet loss or like medical emergencies, or just can't stand like you know, I understand like everyone has their shit, you know, I know what I mean. Some people like to, you know, watch streams and videos and all this stuff for like escapism, but so if like you can't handle that stuff for any reason, totally understandable. This is the time to click away, guys. I will be discussing pet loss and all that shit, right? So if you can't handle that kind of stuff, and potentially very likely me like breaking down, then now's the time to leave. Otherwise, we can talk about this shit while I unbox manga to make myself feel a little bit better, just a little bit. Okay, so I guess like Daniel asked, can someone tell me if something happened to Bentes? She crossed the Rainbow Road yesterday. Or the Rainbow Bridge, yeah. She crossed the Rainbow Bridge yesterday. That's, yeah. So, let me get the manga. I mean, Mishi, what's the hurricane's name? I think... was it Ida? It was a weird name. Let me check. Hurricane... Let's put Hurricane Florida. See what comes up. Idalia? Idalia? Hold on, let me type this in. If you guys want to do like the research yourself. Hurricane. Idalia. I don't know what the fuck. I think it's this. So I should be making preparations, but there's a little bit of time before that happens, before the storm hits, so I'm gonna take my fucking time to have a little breather. Shit kinda happened yesterday, and then I'm getting hit by a hurricane, so you know what? I'm taking a fucking breather, man. I'm gonna box my little fucking manga, okay? I'll prepare for the hurricane after this. I don't care. Is your desk? 10 M2 are you on the floor? What's 10 M2? Is that like a typo, or is that like some kind of... No, this is my desk. This is my desk. I got it secondhand. I got like the secondhand like desk. It feels like an office desk. It very much feels like an office desk. I wouldn't doubt that like maybe some kind of business had it. I bought it secondhand like Facebook Marketplace. I expected to replace the desk shortly after getting this one, but I haven't gotten around to buying that desk because I'm like, the next desk I want is like fancy. It's a Gucci shit. I want like the electronic desks that like, you know, they can move, they can be standing desks and can be lowered down. The motorized desks. And I want the L-shaped ones. And the company that I want to buy from is like a more environmentally friendly company, right? Because I think having a standing desk and like, you know, having an L-shaped desk would fit my setup better. But that shit's almost like, it's basically like $1,000. So like, Jordan says, oh, what the fuck? It'll be a category 3 when it hits your region. Yeah, guys. We got like a predicted hurricane category 3 heading my direction. Ain't that fucking fun? So that's why we're streaming now. I'm streaming now to get it up. I'm streaming now to get this done. While I still have the internet electricity. And then after that, after this, I'm probably gonna go prepare. Probably gonna prepare. I'm still going to picture you like recording lying on the floor and like rocking your legs back and forth because it's cute. Oh, thank you, dude. Well, if that makes you happy, then yeah, go ahead. Who am I to stop you? Who am I to stop you? Yeah, I don't know what we're gonna do with the hurricane. We might just stay here. We don't know. We'll see when it gets closer, you know? But that's for me. That's for future me to think about after I'm done with this stream. That's for future me. Yeah. We got the big boy manga order. The fucking biggest manga order I've made. Oh, yeah, hold on. I'm gonna clear, because there's some new things. I feel I should mention. I'm kind of all over the place. I'm sorry I'm all over the place. I'm taking tips. Of course, if you're not in a financial stable, if you're financially tight and you can't really help, completely understandable. I am planning to set up a GoFundMe at one point, preferably soon, if I can. I don't know how long I have internet and electricity for, but I have a book on how to set up a Kickstarter or like set up a crowdfunding campaign, so I can read the book while like if my electricity's down, assuming I have light. But above we have like the little goal apprentices vet and cremation expenses. I have the goal set at 10,000. I believe it was actually, the total was actually closer to around 13,000 USD, but I quickly set this up before the stream because I wasn't planning on having the dono thing. I'm like, oh, I should probably put that up in case anyone wants to help support. Because I mean, this whole stream is like talking about the situation. So if anyone wants to help, I believe the description should have a link to tip me. Yeah, I didn't get the exact calculations because, like I said, I just like I set this up before stream, and I did like a quick overview of like all the invoices I got from all the vet trips, but it's hard to accurately calculate because I don't have all the receipts printed. Some of them were emailed to me, and it's even harder to calculate because with the vet visits, if they hospitalized Princess, if they took her like overnight, you know what I mean, or if you chopped off your pet there to get care, they would usually give like an estimate of how much the expenses would be, and then they would ask for you to deposit, and then you can leave, right? So if the estimate was ever over what the actual cost ended up being, they would refund me, right? So trying to calculate the expenses with all the refunds and stuff is kind of confusing. And then some of them weren't necessarily refunds, but they were like credits because I took Princess to like 3 different vets, like 3 different like companies, 3 different vet companies. And then one of the vets, I took her to 2 different locations of the same company. One within my area and one like an hour-ish drive away, because of the hour-ish drive away, one was like more advanced. They had a lot more resources and specialists over there. So I can get like a refund from one, like credit, and then like I can use it towards the other location. So like the whole calculation for like all her vet bills is kind of complicated. So for the time being, I just put it at 10K. It's like I said, more likely to be 13K, but feels kind of weird to ask for more, so at least put the minimum at like 10K. So let me grab shit. Daniel asks, did you talk with someone about your situation? Yeah, thankfully I have a lot of nice kind friends who have reached out to me to talk, and also my partner as well. So of support. The support is nice, of course. Thankfully, I have a really good support system. But at this point, it's mostly just like going through the process of grieving. You know what I mean? You gotta let it flow through. But I think in terms of compared to like my past cats, I had two other cats. Unfortunately, their passing was not as comfortable, I guess, as Princess's passing. So there's a lot of like bittersweetness with Princess's passing, because at least I know that she didn't have to go through much suffering. So there's a lot more comfort with Princess's passing than my previous two cats. So that's been helping me cope. I've been through worse. So, you know, knowing that Princess only struggled for a little bit because, you know, she still went to multiple vets. She had multiple vet visits. But the worst, like once I found out that, like, you know, where it could go down to. Armybug, thank you for the 40. I don't have a lot, but I hope this helps. Dude, anything helps right now. Thank you. Thank you, Army. I don't know if that the fucking notif was like overpowering me, but thank you, Armybug, for the $40 tip. Army said I don't have a lot, but I hope this helps. Thank you so much. Any amount helps, dude. Any amount does. Yeah, at least the poor thing didn't suffer too much. Yeah, that's what is helping me cope right now. I know that I did the best I could. I really did the best I could with her situation. Yeah, so I at least know that Princess went, she passed away so thoroughly loved. I loved her so much. The family loved her. I did my ultimate best to try to get her the medical attention she needed. But, you know, it just ended up being that putting her down was, you know, the best choice. I would say, you know, compared to all the other outcomes that would come from her current health situation. So, yeah, unfortunate, but it is what it is. She was 15 years old, or basically around 15 years old, because I got her when I was like, I don't want to like out my age, my exact age, but she lived beyond like half of my lifetime. I've had her for more than half my life, I'll say. But she died at 15 years old. So she lived a pretty long life. Which also helps me feel better, because I know that, you know, she lived a long, loving life, and I'd like to think she was pretty comfortable. I try to give her the best. She had a family. Like, basically every time I saw her, I got excited. I got very excited to see her every time. Every time I open my door, she's like near my door. She's like in the hallway. I would be like, oh, Princess! Like, every time I see her, I'd be excited. And then, like, every time I went out to the living room and kitchen area, the first thing I would do, like, while I was reaching for the lights, if it was dark, the first thing I would do was look towards her direction, where she would usually hang out. She would like to hang out, like, she had a specific spot on the couch that she liked laying on top of. And then she had, like, her little, like, scratchy post. It was like a flat scratchy post. It was like a thick, like, cardboard board that she could scratch, and she would often lay down there. That was her favorite spot. So every time I go into like the kitchen and living room area to get like food or something, I will look her direction to see if she's there, because I love her. I got my little water in like a fucking water bottle because I got ants. We got ants because fucking Florida. Fucking Florida, man. And the ants will go into my cup and like drown themselves. I have like a pool of dead ants in my water cup. And sometimes it was like, oh my god, you guys. How? Someone could tell that you truly cared for her because of the way you spoke and handled her on stream. Thank you, dude. I'd hope so. I I don't know if I have the energy to go back through all my streams, my past streams, like clip moments of her. But we'll see. We'll see. I'm still looking for. I've been looking for an editor, but that kind of got halted because you know Prince's health. But we'll see. I do want to be able to memorialize her memory by maybe at least trying to get like a bunch of clips from like in stream when you know she came up. I don't think she showed up on cam because like I don't think I let her show up on cam because her collar has like a little name tag and it had like contact information, like my phone number if like she got lost or something. So I couldn't put her on stream because there's a possibility of like I couldn't put her like on cam because there's a possibility of her collar showing my freaking information, doxing me. Excuse me, the first one. So she never showed up on camera, but you can probably hear her bell. I think people have mentioned they heard her like her little bell when she would come up on stream. Are you comfortable talking about this with complete strangers, or would you want me to stop? I'm fine, dude. I'm completely fine. I'm honestly very what's the word? I try to be genuine. I try to be honest. I'm a pretty like open person. I'm pretty much open to talk about like anything. The only reason why I would want to hold back from, or not the only reason, but like the primary reason I would not want to talk about something, is likely for personal privacy reasons. Like even if I personally am fine with saying my age and like certain details, I am because internet's fucking crazy. Some of the people online can be fucking crazy. So stuff like that. If I don't want to say something, it's likely for personal privacy reasons, because there's some fucking creeps online that can piece all the information together and you know like gather like a little biography of me from just all the little snippets of information I've given across like multiple sources. So yeah, so I'm very open. Yeah, but not knowing the very like nature of the stream and the topic I'm talking about, I might have to private the spot. But yeah, guys, like don't worry, you can ask your questions. I am fine with talking about it. Just be aware that the floodgates might open. I'm just saying, just the floodgates might open. That's it. Why didn't the heckin' counter update? Cause someone just Ironbug just donated 40. You know. Alerts. Refresh. Why didn't that change? 40? Why? What the fuck? Let me go check that out. Let me check my little overlay thingy. Why didn't it update? Percentage, goal end date, symbol design, set title, total amount. Why the fuck didn't it update? What? I don't understand why it didn't update. What the fuck? The donation was through Stream Elements. I don't understand. What didn't update? I see the $40. What? Oh, I'm fucking stupid. I'm fucking stupid. I saw the 0. I saw the 0 at the. Oh, hold on. Let's where's my finger. I saw the 0 at the end. That is not okay. Now there's 40. Okay, I'm fucking stupid. Sorry, guys. My bad. I'm dumb. I didn't see. I was looking at the 0 over here, and I didn't see like any progress. I didn't see any progress, but that's probably because the height, the goal is 10,000. So probably yeah, there probably would be. Yeah, okay. I'm stupid. Don't disregard me. See percentage of completion. Yeah, there you go. Okay. I'm just stupid. I'm all over the place, man. I'm all over the place. I've had a moment. I'm in a moment. Something about a comment I read earlier bugged me. Someone wrote something about an accidental dox. Oh yeah, last unboxing stream. Yeah, I accidentally doxed myself. I think it was the last unboxing stream. It was just from the same company too, the same comic bookstore I ordered from, and I was unboxing manga from. I was too busy talking when I was like opening the box up, and the invoice with my shipping address was facing right directly up to the camera. So, yeah. To be frank, the 0 at the beginning makes no sense to have. Yeah, right? I don't understand why do you even have that? Why do you even have that? Like, we understand the start is 0. That was my second doxing, yes. I'm trying, yeah, see, I try to be very cautious, but apparently I'm not cautious enough. I'm so sorry about what happened, says Fool. And then a hurricane coming in. It's kind of kicking the ass. Yeah, but like, yeah. How to describe it? Maybe I am underestimating the weight of this hurricane. But I've gone through Hurricane Ian before. And also maybe because like the passing of and like, you know, the stress and the weight that comes from, you know, your pet passing. Everything else kind of feels like nothing. Like hurricane, I don't fucking give a shit. Okay, maybe you have to evacuate. Okay, that's fine. You know? It feels like minuscule. I mean, it probably wouldn't be great if like something happened to my house. Like, yeah, I might be underestimating it. Okay, if like it was like bad enough to where I feel like my house would be fucking destroyed, then I'd be like, oh fuck, you know. But like, I don't think so, because I've had Hurricane Ian, and thankfully, I think there was a category like 4, like almost 5, if like my mom, what she said is accurate. But this one's a 3, I believe. So far predicted to be. I hope it doesn't get any better, any worse. But I mean, our house ended up just fine. I mean, like there was a bunch of like debris everywhere. There was a bunch of like plants, like debris, and like tree branches and all that shit. And yeah, so hopefully nothing bad happens. Fucking knock on wood. I don't even know if this fucking wood. It's like wood, like particle board or some shit. But okay, whatever. Not too particularly superstitious. We'll see. I don't know. Maybe it's the Maybe it's the copium. Maybe because so much is happening, the idea of a hurricane coming in is like, okay, whatever. Okay, I just went through worse. Like, okay, a fucking little hurricane, cool. You know what I mean? I don't know, man. I could be underestimating the severity of this hurricane. We should start unboxing shit. Oh, is this what I think it is? But I want to unbox this last. This is the one I wanna. That's what I think it is. If this is what I think it is, I might want to save it last. I think this might be the last one. This is the one I'm looking forward to the most. If your house is destroyed, you got one less dox problem to care about. Exactly, right? Bitch, you can't dox my house. You can't dox my fucking house. My house is fucking gone. Nice try, kid. Fucking checkmate, bitch. I just saw the news, says Cream. I'm sorry for her loss, Mishy. She was a good kid. She was so good, dude. She was good when she wanted to be. She was good for the most part. She had her little like spicy sour moments. She would have her sour moments, especially on my desk. Cause for some reason she would like to be on my desk, but she gets annoyed. Like she lays down my desk and then like I can see her tail doing like the annoyed like flicks the whole time. I'm like, why do you even sit here if you get annoyed? Like, okay, if you want my attention or like, you know, my company, that's sweet. I fucking love that. I love her. But like, what do you do if you're annoyed? You don't have to be here. I don't know, man. But I love her. I love her so much, guys. She's my baby. She is my baby. I loved her with all my heart. Every time she came up, I got excited. Every time I passed by her in the house, I'd be like, oh, Pinterest! Every time I saw her was an event. Even after 15 years, I got excited every time to see her. And it'd be sad when she'd jump on my bed and leave. And she'd leave my bed. I'd be like, no, don't leave. Please don't leave. I love her a lot. And knowing that she passed, like, you know, without too much suffering, it gives me a lot of comfort. Okay, this is the thing I wanted to like. This is the thing I wanted to say for last. I noticed it's kind of roughed up. That's my experience with this company. This is last. I want to say this last. What was I gonna say off of that? I got excited from Bintess. Even after 15 years, I still got excited from seeing her. Yeah, and then I talk about how she would jump off my bed. I miss her. I love her. I love her so much, guys. I don't think anyone can deny that she was loved. I highly doubt anyone can really deny that. With the family she lived in, family she lived with, we all loved her. I loved her immensely. I loved her immensely. Not to say that the others don't love her, but I'm kind of a cat-obsessed person. Just saying. Just saying. I love her a lot. This ain't no competition. But I love her a lot. Okay. I'll try to, sorry, so I'm kind of all over the place when I'm talking about this. I think, weirdly enough, the hurricane also gives me a weird level of comfort, in the sense of like, because the hurricane's coming in, you know, it's going to be difficult to travel to places and stuff, and some places are going to close down with the hurricane. So I found relief from knowing that Pintas, you know, has already passed, and you know the worst is gone. And I can't imagine how bad it would be if she was still going through her medical issues and we couldn't get, like, if she needed immediate help, we would not be able to get it because of the hurricane. So oddly enough, that is giving me comfort. Like, the hurricane that's coming in, like, I don't fucking care. I don't have to worry. You know what I mean? Like, obviously we have to prepare, but it's like, I find comfort in knowing that, like, you know, there's no struggle to get Pintas medical attention if she was still around today. Like, right today, you know what I mean? Because, sorry, I'm gonna be, like, sporadic when talking about this stuff, because, like, like I said, my mind's all over the place. But talking about, I can start from the beginning with, like, her whole, like, medical situation. I noticed at the beginning of the month, I noticed her breathing was like, not necessarily like the noises coming out of her mouth and her nose, but more so like her body movements when she would breathe. It was a bit like heavy, if that makes sense. Like, her body was expanding a bit more than it usually would, and that was the beginning of the month. So I recorded that to, like, keep it. I have this recorded, and it's concerned. It wasn't too bad, but it's like, is that normal? I'm gonna see. I'm gonna record it, and we're gonna see how she does over time, right? And ooh, this is nice. And over the month, it was getting worse, right? I was like, okay, now so I booked a vet appointment, right? And in that same day that I booked a vet appointment, her breathing got significant, like, concerning. Like, the amount of like her body was expanding to breathe. It was pretty concerning. She was lower energy. So within that night, I decided to go bring her over to, like, this semi-ER vet. It's not like an emergency level of vet, but it is a vet that is like you can walk into and get treatment. Then you can get looked over, versus like the primary vet, which is like the vet she usually goes to. We can schedule ahead of time, you know what I mean? Like, oh, like, it's like non-emergencies, right? Primary vet's like the non-emergency thing. Jesus, I don't know how to pronounce that. Thank you for subbing. So originally I scheduled an appointment with her primary vet to get her looked over, but that same night her breathing started getting worse. So I decided to take her to, like, a semi-urgent, or a semi-ER. It's a more urgent, but it's not emergency, right? And So I brought her in, I brought her in, told them what was happening. Not a threat level, but that's a keep an eye on her level. Yeah, basically at the start of this month, with her breathing, it was a keep an eye on her level. Which maybe with her age, I didn't know the severity, how quickly that can go down. But apparently at her age, it is recommended that you get, once you kind of notice a problem, you should probably get checked out soon. Because I don't know if it's like all cats, but like after all the vet trips that I've done this time, all the vet trips I've done this time, they told me that at her age, like shit can, like her health can like dive, like nosedive pretty quickly. So let me grab another bag. So learning experience for my next kitty. So that same same day that I booked a vet appointment, her breathing got concerning. So I was like, no, this is not, I can't wait until not even tomorrow morning. I went to like this like semi ER, like emergency vet, like urgent vet, I would say, urgent vet. I brought her to that night, and after doing some checkups, they did a scan of her, they did an X-ray, and they saw there was, what they said, fluid inside her lungs, right? Because the X-ray would show like, it's kind of like this black and white thing, right? The X-rays are like black and white, and they saw the area like around her lungs like was like a lot of it was white when it was supposed to be black, right? So that white suggests there's liquid in her lungs, and there was a lot. So they're like, oh, you need to take her to ER. You need to take her to ER, right? And so, and when they came in, like, when they're just checking her, right? They're asking me for information, like I'm telling them her medication, and getting all the basic stuff, right? They took her in, and when they're asking me all this stuff, they seem pretty calm, right? They're calm, and they were pretty calm. And then after they did the X-rays with her, they came back, and like two of them came back into the room. Two doctors or nurses. I don't know. Like I don't know the fucking term. I don't know the terminology and technicalities of that. But two of the staff came into the room, and like I can see like immediately like their response, like their faces and their demeanor was concerning, right? They told me the situation about the lungs, and they said they had to take her to the ER. And from there, like their demeanor and what they said, like, I'm so sorry about your cat, I hope she gets better soon. And they seem concerned, right? And to me at the time, I'm like, I'm not gonna worry about it too much. I don't want it to put me in fear, because I don't really know the full situation. Maybe ER can take care of it fine, right? Maybe they can like drain the liquid out, right? And then maybe watch her for a bit to make sure she's fine, and then she goes home just fine, you know what I mean? That's where I was under the assumption, like, what could be. So I don't want to get scared that fast, you know what I mean? I don't want to already get worried. I don't want to get too worried. So I was like, okay, well, we'll take her to the ER and see what happens, right? Because I don't want to get scared. I don't like to. I got scared, but like I wasn't like panicking. So I don't want to like react too much or like kind of go, kind of panic until I know the situation better. You know what I mean? I'm like, okay, this vet says we gotta take her to the ER, and they seem to be pretty concerned. So I took her to the ER. And they did what they had to do. So they did the X-ray, and they saw that the liquid was not actually in her lungs. It was around her lungs. So what they did at the vet was, what did you say, Yasra? Okay, sorry. They drained out her lungs, right? They call it tapping, I believe. They called it tapping. So they would take like a needle, and I think they would drain out the liquid. I could be wrong, but from like what I've seen when I was visiting, they had like a syringe that had the liquid in it. I don't know, they just got that like as a test, and they used a different device to drain out the rest of the liquid. But it was like not in her lungs. It was around her lungs, right? And that was making it difficult for her to breathe because all the liquid was pressing down on her lungs. And thank God I went in the night I did, because she's a small cat. She's a small cat. And they said they extracted like 220 milliliters of liquid. So we got in just in time to care for her, right? It was like it was dangerous levels of liquid around the lungs. And I was, relieved. We got her help. They got most of the liquid out. They said there's still like a little bit in there, but any more than that, it would be kind of dangerous. So they got out whatever they could, right? They got out whatever they could. And then I think they did like another like analysis on her, like some kind of x-ray or something. And then they noticed there was a mass. There was a lump inside her body. They originally thought it was like near her heart, which makes sense because like the lungs and the heart are kind of like the chest area, right? So originally they saw the lump and they said, oh, it's near her heart. This is concerning. This might be like the source of why the liquid is coming in. Unfortunately, we don't have a cardiologist on the team. We don't have a specialist that can properly look over the mass that's inside her, right? So they told me to bring her over to another location that's like an hour-ish drive away, which is the same company, but their location that's an hour away is like they describe it like their mothership. They couldn't do further procedures on her at the vet I was at with the lump inside her, right? But they said you bring her over to this location that's like an hour-ish away, and they can look it over, right? So what was it? I think I hospitalized her that night. Was she hospitalized? I'm trying to remember the events. There was a whole lot going on. Because I think I took her like in the morning. She was hospitalized the first night. So I feel like they were hospitalized her to watch over her, right? So I came back home without her that night, and I was like, oh man, that's not great. But I was comforted that she was under medical care, right? So I hospitalized her for the night, and then in the morning we drove her all the way to like the hour-ish away location, right? So we can do further analysis on her the mass that's inside her. And just from that trip alone, oh shit, there's an ant on my book. I think some freaking ants. Goddamn Florida. Shit. Made a mark in my book. But yeah, so we brought her over to the hour away location. And when they looked over her, they said that they took out like 100-ish milliliters of liquid, right? So within the span of like a day or two, it was roughly like a day. She filled up again 100 like milliliters of liquid, right? Half of what she came in with the day before, right? Or the night before. I think the night before. Yeah. So the liquid was filling in fast, right? The liquid was filling in fast. So the vet, I think they hospitalized her, and they took like scans so they can get like a better idea of the mass that's inside her, right? I think they hospitalized her, and then we came back, I think the day after, to pick her up, and then they're like, okay, well we did the otology. I keep forgetting the name. Optology. I forgot what the fucking term is. But they did the scans on her, and then they had to wait for the results to come back. So let me grab more manga. guys. Hi, Kayla. Hi, Criminal. Welcome to the stream. So, we brought her back from the location that was an hour drive away. I was concerned about the drive because Princess gets motion sick easily. So I was really concerned how well she would do from to the whole drive. But thankfully, all the drives that she was in, she was either like sedated or she behaved well. Thankfully, she behaved well. Maybe because she was kind of strained because, you know, medical stuff. So we took her back from the location, like an hour drive back home. She was very low energy that night. She was very low energy when we brought her back home, but she still ate. She still drank. She still used the bathroom. She was just sleepy. She's very sleepy. She's very sleepy. They like trimmed like her paw, like her arms, her front legs, and the sides of her body. I think I have a picture up on Twitter. Let me grab it actually. Let me grab it, just so you guys have an idea. Let's see. Do I have an image? I'm pretty sure I do. Okay. Just be aware that like a whole lot happened and there's like several days, so I might be getting some of the stuff mixed up, and I might go back to emphasize or to like clarify some shit. Sorry about doing that. It was very, very hectic, like several days. So I might be kind of all over the place. She did clean herself, yeah. Not as much as she usually would, but she would attempt to and kind of like stop. But overall, she was doing fine. I was concerned, but I don't know like what level was like just her recovering. So, so this was the night that she came back in. She's low energy. This is the night she came back, right? She had like the little, like you can see like her paws or her legs kind of shaven because I think they had to like put a catheter or something, some kind of like needle to give shit. I don't know, medical shit. I don't know for sure. But that's her. This is the night she came back from, I believe, the hour away location, and she was the most like kind of like like kind of like low energy she's been. But I figured that it's because she was like recovering, right? So there's that, and then like her little shaved spots. She's bald. Her little shaved spots. Yeah, that's it. Yeah, they shaved her body, likely to access, you know, access her better. So there's that, right? But that was when we picked her up. That was after we picked her up from the hour away location, right? And they said it would take like 1 to 2 days for them to get the results back and call me, right? But if you you know, remember how I said like her lungs filled up, the liquid filled up really fast. It filled up with like within a day. So 1 to 2 days, a lot can happen in 1 to 2 days. So the morning after, okay, the morning after this, like the time I took this photo was she was kind of like low energy. She was so energetic, guys. She was so energetic. I didn't have much sleep that night. I was sleeping in the living room to keep an eye on her. But I half awakenedly woke up to her like kind of like running around as normal and like going up to my parents and like meowing at them. It was a big difference in energy from the night before when she was taken back home to the morning, right? So they gave me so much fucking like confidence in her well-being. She was eating, she was drinking, she was using the bathroom, she was going up to my parents and like meowing to them, right? You know, she's much more like her normal self. So hearing that, I went back to sleep, right? And then when I woke up, she went into my room and then she slept. I'm like, okay, maybe, you know, she probably needs to sleep, right? She needs rest, especially after like going to the vet. She probably needs to heal up and all, you know. and her breathing was starting to get heavy again. And I'm like, they didn't come back to me that day with the results, and her breathing was getting concerning, right? I'm like, okay, princess, please make it through the night. I brought her into the vet again that day. I brought her into the vet again. Because her breathing was getting kind of worried. It was kind of exaggerated again, but not too much. But I still brought her into the vet just in case. I'm like, is this normal? Should she be like breathing again, like breathing like this again? And they said like, I mean, yeah, the liquid is filling back up in her, but you're waiting for the results from the other location, right? We think it's best that she goes home and rests there until you get the results back and take her to the further away location, because they could drain out the liquids now and like hospitalize her and stuff, but the stress of all that might make the situation worse. And like they would have to like sedate her to a degree, and they would have to try to use a needle to remove the fluids, right? And every time they had to remove the fluids, there is a possibility of them hitting her lungs and puncturing her lungs, right? They can blow a lung. That's just like the nature of like, them having to poke something within that area of her body. And she's a very small cat. So, more room for error. There's like even less space between like her lungs and like where the liquid is. So that was like, every time they had to tap her, it's a risk. There's a risk. And also there's also a risk to sedating her, because sedation, to my understanding from what they told me, does wear down the kidneys. It could wear down the kidneys. So they like, okay, well, her breathing is not like, her breathing obviously is not the best shape, but it is not so bad to where we think we can tap her now. We don't have to drain the fluids now. If you get the results tomorrow, it's probably safer for her to just stay home in a comfortable environment, and no diffusers, no sprays, calm, quiet environment. Let her rest, and that should be fine until you get the results back, okay? And I'm like, okay, sweet. So I brought her home. Thankfully, the vet didn't charge me then. I'm glad they didn't charge me. But brought her home. And then I think her breathing started getting worse. And that same day that we brought her home, right? Because I think we brought her in the morning. That same day it was getting worse. And I'm like, please. Because I was watching her like every 20 minutes. I was going to check on her like every 20 minutes. Like, I shit you not. Like almost every 20 minutes. I would check on her very frequently to make sure she's okay. I'm watching her breathing. Because he told me it could go south pretty quickly. So I was watching her so very fucking quickly. And going to bed was difficult and fucking anxiety inducing. Because it's like, I've been watching her for like every 20 minutes. I did not feel comfortable going to sleep for hours with my eyes not, with my eyes not on her. So I'm like praying to fucking God, like, princess, please make it through the night. Please make it through the night, baby. And thankfully she did make it through the night, right? But her breathing got pretty bad. I think the worst it's been. And I was not willing to wait until they got the results back. So I took her right away to the vet, right? I took her that morning to the vet. I think it was like 9 a.m. And it wasn't even like the usual vet had been taking her, because that location near me was closed for the weekend, right? So I took her to another vet to get, the liquid drained, right? And to take care of her, kind of mediate. I don't know, mediate's the right word, but just kind of hold her down until we can finally get the results and finally get her taken care of, right? At the location that's at like an hour away. So it was so stressful. Those days were stressful, just constantly watching and expecting like the worst can go down so quickly. But I brought her into the bed again. You know, what they told me was much more concerning. I felt like at that point I was already like low in sleep. I haven't really been eating, and just the concern of bin test was already starting to like get to me. And then, you know, they did the scans on her. They removed the liquid, and then they did the blood work, and the vet that's an hour away told me that like they don't think it is a heart issue. They did scans of her heart, her abdomen, and her lungs, right? And they got the results back for the heart and the abdomen. They didn't see anything, right? But they're still waiting back on the lungs thing. And while Princess was hospitalized at this other different vet, I went back home, right? I went back home because I dropped her off there and they hospitalized her. I went back home and and went to my mom. Had a moment of weakness, you know, and I went to my mom and I told her the situation. And under that stress, I did not fare well under all that stress. I kind of broke down. And then she suggested that, you know, I get some rest since Princess was being, you know, watched at the hospital. That was like the best time for me to actually like take care of myself. That was the best time. Because otherwise, if she was home, I would have to constantly monitor her, which I don't mind. You know, I want the best for my baby, but it was taxing on me. I'd be lying if it wasn't taxing on me. But so when she was hospitalized again, or we're waiting for those results, that was the best time for me to actually, like, you know, actually get some rest. That was the time to get some rest. So I took a nap, and then thankfully they called me right while I was in the middle of sleeping. I woke up to the call from the vet with the results while she was still hospitalized, and they tell me, oh yeah, we got the results back. Well, this seemed to be the situation. We can do this and this to help, you know, treat her, right? So you can come into our location as soon as possible. She's checked into this vet right now, right? And I said, yeah. And they're like, okay, well, you can either come in tonight or like first thing in the morning tomorrow. If you come in tonight, we can't really go forward with like any treatments because we have to wait for our doctors to come in. So if you want us to watch her to, like, you know, monitor her health, we can do that. But also, if you want to, you can come in straight in the morning tomorrow, and we'll take her in, and we'll like have the specialist look after her, right? And after I picked her up from the vet, I decided to bring her home for the night because we were gonna leave for the vet early in the morning tomorrow. We're gonna leave at like 7 a.m., right? We're gonna get there like, or we're gonna get there. We're gonna leave at 7 a.m. We get there from 8 to 9 a.m. and that's when the vets come in, right? The specialists come in. So I'm like, let's give Princess a little relief, you know. I understand like the situation's stressful, and maybe it'd be maybe be better for her to go overnight. But if we drove her that night, she'd be hospitalized. So that's another like what, $500 to $1,000 if not more. And also I was concerned about the stress because they said like stress can exaggerate her issue even more. So I'm like, okay, we won't even be leaving in 12, like we'll be leaving in less than 12 hours. So Princess will take her home for the night and leave straight for the vet tomorrow early in the morning, right? So is this light good? It looks dark. I don't know, is it dark for you guys? Sorry. So I felt more comfortable when we were driving back from the vet. She was purring. So that gave me a lot of comfort. She was purring when I got her back in the carrier and we brought her home, purring the whole way there, and I just felt so comforted by that, like the idea that she's purring. And I got so excited and hopeful for her, right? And then when we got home, I'm like, okay, Princess, I'm gonna eat. I'm gonna catch up on some work because I had obviously like that I had to pay off the bills, so I had to catch up on some work and respond to some DMs so I can get some work done. I did that for a little bit, and I got some. I couldn't really eat, dude. I made some like maybe like 8 pizza rolls for myself, and only like 1, and even then I was struggling to eat that 1 pizza roll because, dude, I was waiting on bated breath for that freaking like call back from the results. Like they waited till like they said 1 to 2 days, and they got back to me like late on the 2nd day. Wait, I'm like, okay, I find there's comfort in knowing that she's gonna be taken care of tomorrow, and they told me there's gonna be treatment, right? They said, okay, well, excuse me, I burp. Ooh, that's a second burp. That wasn't loud, but so I went to sleep, still scared, but I was much more hopeful because it was like we're leaving like less than 7 hours. I wasn't gonna get much sleep, but we're leaving. I'm excited to leave as soon as possible. Thankfully, I woke up. Her breathing wasn't so bad. I woke up in the middle of the night like multiple times because I was like hyper aware. I woke up to like the sound of her bell when she got down from the couch to go drink, eat, and go to the bathroom, which I felt very comforted by. But yeah, her breathing was kind of concerning, but not like dangerous, like immediate. Like I had to, we can't drive an hour away. We had to go to the local location. So I'm like, okay, sweet. This is the day. This is the day where like we've been waiting for bated breath. We took her to another hospital. We took her to like 2 vets in the time we were waiting for the results back. Right? We took her to 2 vets. First one didn't really do much. They oxygenized her. And they said she's breathing just fine. Yeah, there's liquid, but we think it's better for her to stay home until they get the results and take her to get proper care. Like actually take it from the source, because the mass inside her seemed to be the source. And like the location that she was hospitalized at, the 2nd night, I believe, while I was still waiting for the results. And I told you like I broke down with my mom, and like I rested and then woke up to like the results of like the mass inside her. It wasn't very comforting because like the vet that the big vet, right? The vet we've mainly taken her to. They told me that like, oh yeah, well, we can work on this. Yeah, like there's obviously an issue inside her, and it's like it is concerning, but like we can do this and that, right? We can go through these paths of treatment. And I'm like, okay, I had confidence. Like we just had to make it through these nights of like draining out the liquid inside her, right? We're just watching like every like 20 minutes of me checking her breathing. But the vet I was taking her to while waiting for the results, the vet that talked to me, he seemed very concerned. He seemed like, this what she has going on, the liquid is filling up inside her so quickly, and with that mass inside her, it seems like it is likely cancer. It's likely cancer, and the pets I've seen that gone through this, they die really quickly. So, probably one of the best things to do is euthanize her. I'm like, okay, well, I'm still waiting for the results. And at that moment when he told me that, I was like shaking. I was fucking shaking like a chihuahua, right? But the thing is, I was being tugged in multiple directions, right? The first vet I brought her to, they were really concerned about her, right? They were concerned when they did the x-ray, and they thought the liquid inside her was inside her lungs, right? So they were super concerned. And I was getting worried, like this is really bad. And then I bring her to the ER, and that vet says, oh no, we got the liquid out of her. Yeah, obviously there was a lot inside her, but now we got most of the liquid out. She's oxygenating fine. Send her over to this location that's an hour away, and they can give the specialist care that we can't provide here, and then they can help you. I'm like, okay, sweet. So all my experiences with this specific vet that I'm mainly going to, they've been giving me pretty hopeful, like, results, I guess. Like, the things they told me were pretty hopeful, right? So while the other vets were like, oh, this is really bad, like, the demeanor suggested like this is really bad, this could be cancer, this could be this and that. It seems pretty bad. Well, the other vet was telling me, oh no, we can work on it, right? The specialist, supposedly, this specialist, the special like branch of this vet that seems to have like the more equipment and the specialist, they tell me, no, we can work on her. There's treatment for it, right? And I said, sweet. Like, I have faith in these guys. Like, these other vets are telling me this, but this vet that has a lot more knowledge and like resources, they're telling me that there's a possibility for treatment, right? So they told me the results. They said, bring her over either tonight or the morning after, right? So I rushed her to that place early in the morning, and I was hopeful, like, this is it. This is her last big trip. Maybe they'll figure out, and they'll give me medication, or they know where the lump is. They know what the lump is. Now we can start treatment. Like, maybe there has to be some surgery or whatever, but from here on out, it'll be easier. Maybe we had to medicate her and keep her under watch, but hopefully by this time it's easier, right? Because we got the fancy vet that has all the specialists to come in. Like, we brought her to the fancy vet. So yeah, but yeah, basically, so far the liquid seemed to be coming from that mass. Because everything else, like the heart and the abdomen, there's nothing there to suggest there was liquid coming from there. There's nothing there to suggest that there was issues from the area. So the likely candidate was that mass, that lump inside her. Like, there was nothing else that was giving off red flags. Everything else was fine. So like, this mass is likely where the liquid's coming from, right? And I brought her over to the vet. They said there's treatment. They can work on it. And that didn't seem to be the case when they brought me in. I brought her in early in the morning. I was hopeful. I was so like relieved. Like, this is it, guys. This is it. This is the last big visit, right? Maybe after this, we had to monitor her. Maybe take her for like small checkups to just see how she's healing and how she's recovering. But this is the big one, right? It took a bit for them to look after her, and and then they're like, oh, we can go into like one of the rooms. We can discuss to you. The doctor that will come in with you shortly to discuss more, right? And I was waiting in the room, right? And then the vet came in and told me the situation and how, yeah, they got the results, but it wasn't enough to determine whether or not like the lump was cancerous or not. Even though beforehand they told me it likely wasn't on the call that I got, the one I woke up to, right? They said it likely wasn't cancerous or something like that. If I'm remembering correctly, right? Either they said it wasn't cancerous, or if it was, there was a treatment for it, right? Something along those lines. I had a lot of hope, and then at this vet, they talked to me like, we don't have enough like scans. We can do further scans to see like what the lump is, because the possibilities of lump are like three things, right? It was either like cancer, which if it was cancer, I think they said like there was so much happening the several past few days, and there's so much medical jargon. I might be paraphrasing these like incorrectly, right? So don't take what I say with a grain of salt. I could be mixing up shit here and there. It was hard to remember when they tell you so fast, but he said, okay, well, if it's cancer, there are like treatments that we can do. We can run all these kind of treatments, but the thing is with that is that even if we do the treatment, it would cost, I think they said like $10,000 to $12,000. It was a pretty high amount. It was a pretty high amount. I'm like, okay, well, she's my baby. Okay, okay. So the finances later. But anyways, they told me like, okay, it's probably gonna be like around $10,000 to $12,000 if I remember correctly. But the thing is with this with treating, if it is treating cancer, is that even if you go through that treatment, she would have to be heavily monitored. And cats that have this cancer, on average, only live for like another 140 days, right? So I forgot if she mentioned whether or not the cat would be suffering through that, would be in pain through that. But 10 to 12K and like only 140 days. And the other option was, other potential results were, it was either a bacterial lump or like a fungal lump or something like that. And they said both options can be medicated, but I think they said the bacteria medication would be very strong on her body and she would likely be in pain, right? And the fungal one, they said was super expensive. And I think they also said she would be in a lot of pain. And even if we were able to get the, go through treatment, it seems like all the treatments were either expensive or super painful, or painful, or both. They're painful and it seemed like all of them were all painful and expensive, right? I think the cancer one was the most expensive. But they're all painful and expensive. And even then, to even get those tests to begin with, to find out whether it's cancer or bacteria or fungal infection, to even get to that point, they can't do the scans until later that week, right? And this was, I think, on Sunday. This was yesterday. And Princess is barely able to get by already. Like, in that 1 to 2 days we're waiting for the results, I brought her to the vet like twice, right? First time, they said, I think she's fine. We don't have to drain anything from her. I mean, we could, but it's not severe enough to be worth the risk. It's probably safer to bring her home and keep her there until you get the results. I'm like, okay. And then the morning of the second day, and to clarify and to emphasize, they said they'll get the results to me within 1 or 2 days. In the morning of the second day, her breathing was the worst it's been, and I brought her into the ER again to get her liquid drained. And for them to tell me that, like, they can do further tests, they can do further, like, scans of her body, but they would have to do that later that week. It has to be scheduled. And even if we did do the scans, the likely possibilities of, like, cancer, bacteria, or fungal reasons, all the treatment was just too much. Both financially, it seemed, and also, like, on her body. I don't think the bacterial infection was very expensive for it to sound like. But it's still, that was heavy on her body, right? So, all the options just is not worth putting her through, Have a shit taste. So. What other option was there? The most humane option was to just end it there. Don't let her suffer more. Daniel says, were they able to confirm the growth kind? That's the thing. They said in order to do further scans on to find out what the lump is, the mass, I would have to wait until later that week, right? And she was already barely getting by day. And every time, because the liquids are filling up again, basically full, like every day, right? And every time they have to drain the liquid out of her, they had to tap her. That's what they call it. They had to tap her. They had to drain the liquid out. They risk puncturing her lung every time they have to do that. So for them to tell me we had to schedule more scans later in that week, and not only do I have to wait until later that week to get the scans in the first place, but the results would take a couple days, right? And all the treatments on what the possibilities were just either or both expensive or hard on her body. Actually, but all of them I think were all expensive and hard on her body, right? I think the bacterial one wasn't too expensive, but they emphasized like 10 to 12K, I believe, for the cancer treatment, right? But cats who have that only last like on average 140 days, and the fungal was super expensive, and the bacteria one was hard on her body if I give her medication for that. And I don't think she can go through another week. Like, barely getting by 1 to 2 days. I can't imagine a week of constantly bringing her back to the vet to drain her liquids out. And every time they drain her liquids. There's a potential risk. There's a risk of puncturing her lungs. So, what else was there to do? You know? Other than just not let her suffer anymore. You know, all the other options weren't worth it. And all of them would put her through more strain. If it, like, 10 to 12K, if it costed 10 to 12K, and she would continue living on, I would consider it. You know? I don't know how I could do that, because I was already like 10K in the hole. I don't have a high enough credit limit. But I'd at least consider it. But 140 days after that, after 10 to 12K for just treatment alone, and just being able to find out what it is would take like almost a week. And she was barely getting by day by day. It's not worth it, guys. I didn't want to suffer longer. So I made the hard decision to put her down. I didn't want her to suffer. And that's what we did. And I felt bad, because not only just because in general, but I felt really bad for my sibling Kana. If you're familiar with Kana, Kana moved out recently, and Princess was barely getting by day, and Kana wasn't even home. Kana's living elsewhere. They're living in California, and I felt horrible because if we euthanize Princess now, Kana wouldn't even be there in person. And I mean, we discussed it, you know, we discussed the possibility of like, okay, the vets, at least like the main vets we were going to, they seem like they can treat her, right? They seem like they can treat her. So I had hope. And even if like things are looking grim from like the other vets, this one vet was telling me we can do it, right? And I I wanted to fight. I wanted to fight for Princess, because Princess, all things considered, despite like her breathing issues, she was eating, she was drinking, she was using the bathroom, she was energetic the morning after, right? One of the mornings after she was taken back, after we brought her back home, she was energetic, right? She was energetic, and she was meowing. She was doing just fine. The only thing that felt like it was stopping her was the breathing, was the liquid. Otherwise, Princess seems like a fighter. She seems like she's 15 years old. She still has so much energy. I think she can do it. She can do it, you know? So, I had so much hope. I still had the idea that, like, euthanization is still a possibility, you know what I mean? I learned that from my past cat. It's still a possibility, but I had so much hope with her energy, and, like, our main vet telling us we can do it, we can treat her. It seems like we can treat her, right? Like the way they were talking about it, their demeanor, it all seemed very hopeful. I thought Princess is strong enough. She has the energy. She's a fucking force to be reckoned with. She'll make it, right? But she was barely getting by day, and like I said, just the risk of puncturing her lung. And I felt so bad for Kana because they weren't home. They won't. If we did euthanize Princess, she Kana would not be able to be there in person. Because, I mean, maybe Kana at the earliest would be able to get a flight the next day. But even then, even if they get the earliest flight, a flight is another 8 hours, right? So the 7 hours between the vet, the emergency vet, and to the main vet, that's like an hour drive. That, like, less than 12 hours was already, like, shaky. But I was like, I have hope, because, like, the last trip will be the last big trip, probably. So it's worth it. This is the final push, right? So Kana having to take a little over a day to get over here. I don't know how well Princess is gonna do, especially with, like, how the vets emphasize how quickly these things can go south. So unfortunately, Kana couldn't be there in person. We FaceTime Kana, but that's not the same as being there, you know? But unfortunately, Kana couldn't be there in person. When I came to the decision of putting Princess down, it seemed like the best decision. I called my mom and my brother, who were still at home. Thankfully, they didn't have work that day. Thank God they didn't have work that day. None of us, all 5 of us, didn't have work. I considered the idea of driving Princess all the way back to our home and getting her euthanized in the area, so, like, my brother and my mom didn't have to drive. But it seemed like her with how fragile, how volatile her state was, that left room for potential, like, her health can go down, and we still had to find a place to euthanize her, right? So I just thought, you know, Mom, Kuya is what I call my older brother, because some kind of Filipino, like, polite thingy. I don't know. I think it's, like, similar to, like, uncle, auntie, like, san, chan, kun, not in, you know, Japanese. But basically I call my older brother Kuya. And so I called my mom and my brother to drive over. And we were gonna, you know, by the time, you know, so we're all together with Princess. And while they were driving, my dad and I were like, well, Princess is under care. We still have to wait for your brother and your mom to drive over. We need to get food. We need to take care of ourselves too. So my dad and I, we got some ramen. I feel like the time that Princess is hospitalized is, like, the best time to the short amount of time the Princess is hospitalized, that's the time to take care of ourselves, because at least we don't have to I don't have to constantly watch her, because she's under care with the vets. So I'm like, that's the time, right? So we went to get food while my mom and my brother were driving over, the hour drive. We ate food together. I ended up getting my brother and my mom ended up getting to us while we were in the middle of eating, because it took me like a good 30 minutes or so to call up Kana and also my boyfriend to tell him the situation with Princess and, you know, the decision I ended up coming down to. So my brother and my mom, we ended up you know, we all ate ramen together, and then after that, you know, we went back to the vet, got together in a room with Princess, and we FaceTime Kana, and it seemed like there was miscommunication because we wanted to spend some time with Princess before they had to put her down, but I think one of the vets misheard and they thought we're going straight to like putting her down. So she had like this like thing in her arm to and like there's like a tube to put like the liquid or whatever fluid is needed to put down the cat. I think there's two fluids. There's one fluid that would essentially overdose her, but I think that would put her to like a sleep, right? That would put her to like a sleep where she wouldn't feel anything. They would overdose her so she wouldn't feel anything, and then the second one would stop her heart, you know? So I'll take a minute. If I need one, I'll take it. But so they brought her in with the assumption that that we're gonna put her down. Because I can imagine if they knew like we wanted some time with her first, they probably would have put the thing inside her. Because they probably want to put the little tube inside her, because it is like kind of annoying to hold, right? It is kind of like dangling and stuff. So we're like, oh, it's okay, you know, we don't want to take it out and put it back in. I don't know if that's like that would hurt her. So we left it in, and we tried to, you know, we tried to spend time with her. We tried to kiss her. We tried to hold her while the thing was inside her. We're trying to be very careful with like not hitting this thing that's in her arm, because we don't know if it would like, if we like move it around, if it would hurt her. So we're trying our best to hold her comfortably and carefully. And guys, Princess was a fighter to the end. She was herself. She was on the cart because he brought her in on a cart with like a towel and a blanket. The towel was on the cart, and then like the blanket was like kind of on top of her, and even though she was like, she had the thing inside her, and what was gonna happen. She was herself until the end. She was still energetic. They just removed the liquid out of her, so she was able to breathe again. And she was still herself. She was so energetic. And she was trying to get off the cart, guys. She wasn't like feisty. She wasn't like angry at us or hissing or clawing. But she really wanted to get off that cart. We were trying to hold her. We were trying to pet her while she was on the cart. But she was really like, I want off. She tried to jump off. So it was just like a mix of like, oh my god, Princess, please, like, we're trying to hold you. We're trying to say her goodbye. But we're struggling to like keep her on the cart because she kept trying to jump off because she wants to row. She wants to walk around because she's a very curious cat. She loves new environments a lot. Thankfully, I'm really happy for that because it made traveling with her very easy. She adjusted to new locations really well. But she wanted down from that cart, and I think she wanted to walk around the room and see what's up. And like, we're all trying to say her goodbyes and trying to keep her down so she, you know, try to hold, like, keep her from jumping off the cart. Because we don't know, like, how that would affect, like, the thing inside her, right? The car was pretty high. The car was like 3 to 4 feet off the ground, I think, right? So she would have a decent jump. We don't know like if that would affect the thing inside her. So we're trying to prevent her from like jumping down, right? So we're trying to hold her and kiss her, you know, say her goodbyes. And I'm holding like, one person's holding a camera for like recording, and the other person is we're trying to also hold another phone to FaceTime or like video call my sibling Kana. And that also had its own issues because the connection was getting bad. So I had to switch between like, okay, FaceTime to Discord. Discord call isn't working. Let's try like a server call. Okay, that's not working. Let's switch back to data. Let's Wi-Fi. Let's go back to FaceTime. So we're trying to like haggle Bintess from preventing her from jumping off the cart, trying to say her goodbyes, and also trying to like record and also figure out the whole like internet issues. We're trying to keep Kana, you know, we want Kana there. It would be, I don't want to have Princess go with Kana not being able to see. So trying to figure that out. Thankfully the internet stabilized. We went back on FaceTime. But all that happened, and eventually my mom and dad left the room because they said their goodbyes, and they didn't want to see it when you know, see it happen. So my brother was holding Princess, and he kept getting snot. He kept getting snot on her head, right? Because he was holding her, and he was like, you know, petting her, like rubbing his head against like the top of her head, right? And he kept getting snot on her, so we had to keep like constantly like tissuing his nose and rubbing the snot off Bintess, right? And my brother asked like if he could hold her while they put her down, because my brother told me later on that car ride back home that was something he wanted to do. He decided that early on, if like we had to put down Bintess, he wanted to hold her in his arms while they put her down. She was purring the entire time. Which maybe that was like to calm her down. Because the night before I took her to the last vet, she, like I told you, she was purring on the way home, right? And then, which is normal, yeah. But then she would continue purring. Even after like we're done petting her, she would be sitting on the couch and just purring. And I was getting concerned. Like usually it's like just purring. It's like, that's happy, right? But like when this situation, any kind of sign of like difference or any kind of sign of not normal is concerning. So even you would think purring is fine, I was concerned, like, is this bad? Is this actually bad? So I googled it. I googled like cat like purring for like long, right? And I looked at the results, and like some of the results that came up was like the cat could be purring to help calm themselves down, right? So it could be used as like a coping thing. The cat could be purring to help cope. And I thought that was the likely possibility. Maybe Princess was trying to calm herself down by purring during all this, right? The last night she was around. Hi, Soldrix. Just anyone coming in, read the you know, the little warnings on the bottom. Where's my fucking hand on the bottom? Because I'm kind of in the middle of discussing it. So if anyone feels uncomfortable with that stuff, anyone coming in, just, you know, that's there. Leave or stay. I won't be personally offended if you leave. I know this is a very heavy thing, so not everyone can handle it, but she was fighting till the end. She wanted to get her way. She wanted to jump off the cart and look around the room, and we're passing the tissue box around, right? While she was on the cart, and she tried to smell the tissue box. Because they're putting the tissue box away, like onto the table, and Princess tried to smell it. So I'm like, oh, the Princess smelled the tissue box, right? So Princess seemed normal. She seemed normal, and like it gives you hope, like the back of your mind that she can continue. Like even with the breathing issues, like there's fight in her, you know. There are people who like. There are humans, you know, that I've heard were told like, oh, you only have like 6 months left to live. You're diagnosed with cancer. You only have half a year left to live. I'm so sorry for your loss. And the person was like, fuck that. So the person would like you know, would be optimistic. They would exercise well. They would change their diet. You know, they would take care of themselves. And like they would extend that. They would go beyond 6 months. Some of them even live years beyond their expected death, right? Doctor would say you only have this long to live, and the person would be like, fuck that. Exercise, eat healthy, take care of myself, go fucking crazy, right? And they would make it beyond that. So, I mean, humans aren't... A cat has a different body, right? Humans aren't cats. But I thought maybe, you know, there was a hope that, like, look how well she's doing in between the vet visits. Like, aside from her breathing, she's performing just fine. She's energetic. She's eating. She's drinking. She's using the bathroom. The only thing that's preventing her is that the liquid from the mass. Like, very likely from the mass, right? That seemed like the most likely candidate for what's causing all the liquid to fill up in her. Because everything else, the heart scans and the abdomen scans didn't really come up with anything, right? They seem positive, right? Nothing really happening over there. So it very likely seemed like that mass inside her. So if not for that one mass, I can see her continuing to live on. More years. She's 15 years old and she still has so much energy. You wouldn't even think she's 15 years old. You think she's just like an adult cat. You wouldn't think she's 15. So she's trying to jump off the cart. She's like smelling stuff around. She's like smelling stuff while we're about to, like, we're saying our goodbyes. And she's like, you know, she was her until the end, dude. And you can't help but think, like, at the back of your mind, she can still make it. But hi, Kana. I don't know if you want to go to this, Kana, because we're obviously we're talking about the thing, you know. We're talking about Princess. Yeah. So if you don't want to stay, you can leave, dude, because I'm just making it to like the worst part. I'm just getting to the worst part, dude. You can leave. You can leave, kinda. Well, like I'm saying, like, oh, you can leave. Like I give you fucking permission. But yeah, I don't know how you're handling this, kinda, but leave or stay, up to you ultimately. But man, I had to call my boss soon, so probably. Yeah. Go, dude. There's always a VOD. If you want to come back for the VOD, if you really want to watch it, there's a VOD. But yeah. If don't stay or leave, up to you ultimately. I'm gonna continue talking about it. So yeah. Kinda, if you're trying to distract yourself from the fact this ain't the stream. This is not the stream. This is like the worst stream to go to. This is the worst stream because I'm explaining it. Get your ass out of here, dude. Get the fuck out of here. Get the fuck out. Bye, yeah, bye, Kana. So, see, do you guys know each other? Kana's my younger sibling. They were the ones I described. That was the FaceTime. That Kana couldn't be there in person. Kana's the younger brother, yeah, younger sibling, younger brother, either one. Yeah, they had to, unfortunately, they had to FaceTime when we put Pintas down. They weren't able to get there in person. So my older brother, you know, my parents already walked out of the room. It was just me and my older brother and the nurse or the doctor, whoever it was, medical staff or whatever. I was holding the phones up. I was recording everything. I was holding not only the phone to record, but also like the FaceTime with Kana while my brother was holding onto Bentes, you know. And they administered the fluids to put her down. And my other brother said he could feel like her purring disappear. He felt the purring stop. and then, you know, she was gone in his arms. And the vet left, you know, while she was in the middle of administering the fluids, she had to check to make sure stuff, right? So, like my brother's crying and holding on to her, you know, and the nurse is trying to like maneuver my brother's arm away so she could check like Prentice's like pulse. I don't know what the fuck she was doing, you know, vet stuff. But she was trying to, you know, make checks on Prentice to make sure it went through, and then, you know, she confirmed that she was gone, and then she left the room. And at that point, when Princess passed, and it was just her body there, kind of left because kind of couldn't handle it. And my brother and I stayed in the room with her body for a long time. Like, we already said our goodbyes while she was alive, but we continued to mourn with her body. We could feel her getting colder. Did I get snot on my books? I better not fucking do that. What the fuck? Bro. Those are my books, man. My fucking books. I'm coping, guys. I'm coping right now. Trying to line the mood for myself, so. But yeah, we stayed in the oh, there it is. There's the fucking tear. Or it's not, I don't know, I think it's a tear. But we stayed in the room for quite a while, with Bentess. Yeah, I understand, Daniel. No worries. I'm letting it out, but I'm trying to not let it out so much to where, like, I uncontrollably cry. You know what I mean? So, we stayed in the room, continued to say our goodbyes to Bentess. You know, talk about how much we love her and how it's not gonna be the same without her. That she's with her brothers now. You know, say hi to Garfy and Tiggy for us. I think we said that before she passed, but we also said it after she passed. Like, you're gonna be with them soon. You can be a little menace to your older brother, because she was a bit of a menace to her brother when he was still alive. But yeah. So we stayed in there for quite a while. I went out, we stayed there for like 30-40 minutes after she passed. And my parents were just waiting in the lobby, but we stayed there for quite a while. I was hesitant to, because I felt like maybe that'd be like rude or like disrespectful to her body, or kind of sick. I don't know, but I took a video and photos of, you know, her after she passed, and I don't know if that was weird, but I thought, okay, if I decide this is weird or this is bad, I can always delete the photo or in the video. I can't go back and take it though. So I took some videos and photos of what was her, you know. And if at any point in the future I regret it, or I feel like it's a bad choice, I can just delete it. I can't go back and take it. So I have those on my phone, and it every time I open up my gallery, it's like the first thing that shows up. But she's not suffering anymore. I'm happy. I'm relieved that it's like a mixed feeling. It's like a mixed feeling of like, she still had so much energy and life in her, before she passed. And it gives you hope that she can continue. But at the same time, it's like, I'd rather her go this way than for her to like wither away like my previous cat did. That's another thing, which that's a whole other shit. That's a whole other fucking like fucking waterworks, like whole other issue. But yeah, I said earlier that like Princess had the best passing versus my other previous cats. Unfortunately, it was my previous cat's unfortunate death that made me so serious about getting Princess the attention she needed and all the fucking medical attention, because my last cat unfortunately did not get as much attention because vet bills are expensive, and at the time I wasn't making much money. So we couldn't get him as much medical attention. And that guilt and regret still weighs me. So I tried my fucking best to get Princess the medical care she deserved, because unfortunately my past cat didn't do that. Garfield didn't receive that. My parents couldn't afford that. So I did my fucking best for Princess. I did not want her to suffer, but I'm glad that at least, as bittersweet as it was to know that she's still energy and the hope that she can continue, I'd rather have her die while still herself rather than like whittle away if we went through like the other treatment options, or if we continue to try to hold on to her just so we can treat her. The other options, she would still, her health is still bad. She would just degrade in health. Her quality of life would go down. That's unfortunately the word I'm very familiar with like near-death experience. It's just that term, quality of life. Is that, I don't know, just the association I have with that term is just the death of my babies. So if we went through the treatment options, it's Princess somehow miraculously made it through the week to get scans and also wait for the results again. The treatments weren't the best options, so I'm glad she went down the way she did. I'm not glad, obviously, but the alternatives weren't better. So she went down, you know, as herself. She fought. She was purring. She was curious of everything around her. She was smelling the tissue box. My brother was putting away the tissue box, and then I saw Princess reach to smell it. I'm like, no, just let her smell it. So I grabbed like a tissue myself, and then she smelled that. So, I'm not happy that she went, but in terms of the other alternatives to how she could have gone, the way she went had the least amount of suffering, and that gives me its own kind of comfort, you know. That was his own comfort. I'm glad she didn't suffer. I mean, I don't doubt that, like, you know, her going to the doctors were scary, and her getting like the liquid strained out of her, getting shots to get the liquid strained out of her, and having to put like the catheter, the IV, whatever they put in her arm. I can imagine that wasn't fun, right? I would not want to be under that freaking circumstance, let alone putting my own fucking baby through that circumstance. And at least with me, as a human, they can tell me what's gonna happen, right? They can tell me what they can do to me. Like, okay, we're gonna give you a shot, we're gonna give you an IV, we're gonna give you this, right? At least you have a heads up. I can prepare for it. Princess can't prepare for it. pets can't. And maybe some pets know, they understand what's gonna happen, right? But not to the degree that humans do, you know what I mean? So maybe like, and also she struggled breathing, right? So I can't fully confidently say she didn't die without, she passed without some sort of like pain, you know what I mean, through all the vet visits. But compared to the alternatives, I think the option she went down was much better, much more humane for her. And yeah, coming back home without Princess was painful. I was hoping to come back that day either with her, you know, maybe hospitalized, you know what I mean, like either hospitalized, taken care of, them working on her, you know, and then the next day or something, or the day after, you know, I would come back home with maybe Princess is kind of, you know, obviously scared from all the procedures, but after that I thought, you know, that's the worst of it, you know. After this, maybe it's just recovery. Maybe you just gotta get checked up every so often to see how well you're recovering, and then we can get like get you medicated, or maybe like occasional like visits to the vet to like radiation. I don't know what the fuck to do for cancer, whatever treatment that goes for cancer, whatever that is. I thought that, you know, I was hoping for that, but we went home without her. I'm pretty sure I didn't explain everything. Sorry, I was a mess. Like, I think I already am like kind of a mess when it comes to explaining things, and I explain things out of order and go back and clarify stuff, so it's not the best, but sorry if I was all over the place. I'm pretty sure I didn't explain everything, but I gave like most of it. I gave like the main stuff, you know. So I got home, you know. I was talking to my brother on the car ride. After we left the vet, we got some boba tea, you know. I was hoping to get boba while we're eating ramen, while we're waiting for my brother and my mom to drive over, but got some boba after the vet as like a, you know, like a little pick-me-up. You know, the boba, the drink is good. I really like the drink. You know, you can only do so much after, you know, shit like that, but something, you know, the small pick-me-up. And the drink was good. So you know, went back home. I don't think I showered in a couple days, and I was hungry. Like my appetite already is pretty bad. I already struggle to eat. Like even if I'm like hungry, the appetite may not be there. Most often the appetite's not there. The hunger and appetite are two different things. Even if I'm not hungry, if I'm still kind of full but I have an appetite, I will continue eating, because like that's like the best time for me to eat. Otherwise it's kind of difficult for me to eat. I feel like maybe that's like I don't think it's depression anymore. I think if I had depression, I think it's already recovered mostly. But I struggle to eat unless I have an appetite, and drinking soda helps with my appetite. Not the best, obviously, but I try to limit soda to like meals, only meal times. So, but I got back home hungry and haven't showered in a few days. Haven't washed my bed sheets, but you know, I couldn't, because I wasn't very readily available to take care of myself, because the only opportunities I really had to take care of myself was like when Princess was hospitalized at the vet, when they had her, and even then, the times that they did have that, I was like sleeping or something. Not a lot of opportunities to take care of myself then. So when I got back home, I passed the fuck out in my bed. I was on call with my boyfriend, and you know, obviously we're both sad that happened. And I woke up a couple of hours later, That's when I managed to do my laundry, clean my sheets, and take a shower, and get a bit of food in me. I was kind of my blanket was kind of not too. I wasn't too bad, but Pintas would lay in my blanket, right? She likes to lay in my blanket, and I smelled the blanket. I can kind of smell her. There's like a little bit of pee on her, from like I can imagine she might have like soiled herself at the vet. You know what I mean? Either if they're trying to get liquids out of her, or for whatever reason, like she's scared and she pees. But like I can kind of smell it from the blanket. Like there's probably a bit of pee on her. So I didn't have time to freaking wash my blanket. So I probably had like these little like pee spots on me when I was like going to sleep. But I don't fucking care, man. I don't fucking care. Like I need sleep. This is my baby. Like I'm not gonna be like, ew, cat pee, gross. It's like, bro, like Prince's situation is so much worse. So I went to sleep with that. But I'm just telling you like this. I'm like telling the situation of like I wasn't able to properly. I was only able to do so much while Princess was going through all that. So. Daniel says, I won't tell you to stop feeling sad. It's necessary, but please acknowledge that you did your best and that you fought with every ounce of your strength and willpower that you could. It wasn't up to you. Yeah. That's why, like, as painful as her passing is, I feel like, I'm coping with it a lot better because I know I did the best I could. And thankfully she didn't suffer for long, because her issues only really showed up like with this month. Like the breathing issue only started showing, if I remember correctly, from what I noticed, it only really started showing up at the start of this month. So, I hope it wasn't like, I hope she wasn't suffering for too long. I hope it was just a matter of like, it started declining near the end. Well, I don't hope for that, but like in terms of other alternatives, you know, I would rather have her not suffer for the whole month, you know what I mean? But, yeah, so thankfully I gave her the best I could. I really did. I'm confident in that. I know she was so loved. I love Bintas with all my fucking heart, guys. She's my baby. I'd die for her if I could. I'd fucking I'd die for her. But yeah, so thankfully that's been helping me cope with her death, is that it's very bittersweet. It's very bittersweet because I know it could have been worse. But I feel like it's because of my Garfie's passing, which unfortunately was not as nice as Princess's. And like I mentioned before, I won't go too much into it because I feel like there's a whole other thing I'm gonna start crying about. But unfortunately, Garfie's passing was not the best. And I gave Princess all I could, and because I know that I gave her all I could, it's not as painful. It's still obviously painful that she's gone, but there's no regret, you know? There's no regret. Did I show this one? Oh yeah, I did. Yeah, there's no regret. I know I did my best. And she lived a long life where she was so loved. I loved Princess, my god. If I could, I would have given her more love, dude. Like, I would have given her so much more cuddles, and I would have carried her so much more. I would have spoiled her, but I'd be smothering her. That would smother her. I gave her what I could without smothering her. Because if I could, I would take her. I would lay down and cuddle her in bed every time I go to sleep. I would have her next to me and I'd pet her and I'd fall asleep. But I can't give her that much more because she would get annoyed. So I gave her all the love I could. I want to give her more, but she would get annoyed. She would get annoyed. I would smother her. This isn't all the books. I have a little bit more books. But yeah, no, it's just is just going through the motions of, you know, the loss. Thankfully, this loss doesn't have the same weight that Garfie's, my last cat. Thankfully, Princess's passing doesn't have the regret and guilt weight that came with Garfie's death. So, I think that's how me copes with this death so much more. From what I heard, she had a good life. He gave her the best life she could have lived since Daniel. I would have given her more! Bro, not even the best life. I would spoil the fuck out of her, dude. If I had the means, God, I would like install like little like cat shelving on the wall, like little holes in between the walls so she can go from one room to the other. What else would I give her? I had like these like wall furniture, cat wall furniture that I got earlier this year that I unfortunately didn't set up before she passed. But I had like this cat wall furniture that had like shelving and like scratching posts that she would like, jump up in the wall and like in play with. Unfortunately, I didn't install that early enough in time. Because I was kind of like in between, like, am I gonna move out soon? Like, I don't know. I want to make a video out of this, so that takes some setup. So that kind of delayed me putting it up. So I would treat her so much more, dude. I would spoil her more if I could. There's so much. I wanted to spoil her some more, dude. But the thing I did try to let her do, because she really enjoyed going outside, even though going outside for cats is puts them at risk for like danger. I didn't feel it was too dangerous to let my cat outside, because she would stay within the area. She would stay within the yard. There were like some times where she'd go further away, but that was like rarely. But generally she would stay within the area, like in the yard. Sometimes she'll go across the yard, but mostly she stayed here, and she'd stay within the area, and then she would come in like shortly after everyone else went inside. Because I don't think she doesn't like being alone. I don't think she likes being alone. I think she has separation anxiety. So most often when someone went inside, she would come in shortly after, right? So I felt like, yeah, okay, that might put her at better risk by being outside, but she's within the area, and she loves going outside, guys. She would try to sneak out every time we opened the door for like several years, for like almost as long as we had bin tests. She would try to escape, right? Every time we had to open the doors out to the outside, we had to be careful. We had to like kind of quickly close it, or like if someone was at the door, we had to like let them inside, or we had to step out, because if we left the door open and talked to them, pitches would dash out. She loves the outside, so I try to give her that experience, and I'm glad that she had that while she was in this house, because the previous house we had was in California, and we had a very small yard. So she would go explore elsewhere, and there was like a pretty busy road in front of us. It wasn't that busy, but compared to like other streets, it was a bit too fast for my liking. I was scared about her getting run over. But thankfully, the last house, the one I'm living in now, we have a decently sized yard, at least compared to a past house, that she was able to walk around. She could enjoy. She could be within like our field of view, right? She's within the general area. So I try to let her outside as much as I can, like while she's kind of supervised. Like I would like water the plants like every other day, and I would let her outside while I go water the plants, and we let her in. So I gave her time outside. She loved the outside, dude. So I try to do that as much as possible. Yeah. But she's gone now. But there's no regret or guilt. I mean, I guess like if I'm really trying to scrape for it, there is some regret I didn't take her earlier this month to get checked out. But even then, like, they said at her age, like her health can decline real quickly. So I'm not gonna like split hairs by being like, oh, I should have taken it earlier this month, because yeah, I feel like, yeah, that's not too bad. I went through the worst with my previous cat. I don't want to go too much into it because I have a whole, I still suffer through like guilt and regret with him, but yeah. Pintas passed like in the best way I can imagine. Granted, it probably would have been great if like it was for health scares, because like my boyfriend talked about like how his cat passed, and his cat just passed from old age. Just a straight up old age. Like, it wasn't really necessarily health, but like at one point his cat like kind of stayed in one spot and kind of didn't really eat or drink as much. So maybe that is a health reason, but like they just like, oh, we gotta put him down, right? He lived for a long time. Was it him or her? I forgot. I think it was a him. But I guess there are probably better ways to go. But Princess, she went down, I think, pretty well, compared to alternatives. So I don't have too much. It's not too bad. Obviously, I'm still grieving, but it's bittersweet, you know. It is a bittersweet kind. I have one more thing that I can unbox, and I basically explained everything. So we'll wrap up stream soon. Let's see. Fucking ants, bitch. I got like one Subway cookie. My mom brought home some Subway cookies, and there's like already ants going all over it. Fucking bitches. Excuse me. 3. Yeah. Unfortunately, I think it's a 4th burp. Yeah, I'm gonna set up a crowdfunding campaign, like a GoFundMe or something, to help cover her bills, because it did leave a pretty like deep hole in my pocket, which I don't regret. I think I can reasonably earn back those means. You know, I am familiar with like crowdfunding. I haven't done a crowdfunding campaign myself, but I know it is possible to earn money, you know, as opposed to, I think, like the standard person, or like how am I supposed to afford like $13,000 of like vet bills in a short period of time, you know what I mean? But thankfully, I think I have the means and the knowledge to run a crowdfunding campaign, so I'm gonna make a GoFundMe at one point to help cover for the vet bills. That I had to do a bit of research on. Obviously, I'm like still grieving, so I'll take some time. I'll be slow, but I'll set up a GoFundMe. And I'll like post it on my Twitter and shit, probably on YouTube as well. And then, what else? Do you have a part-time job? A funding campaign can't be a good idea, but it really shouldn't be your main source of income. I would argue part-time job is not a very great income either, because I freelance, right? I freelance, and I've been able to quickly get money from like selling photo sets, and stuff. And I'd argue with part-time work, you have a ceiling. You have a ceiling how much you can earn, right? But with freelance and what else I'm doing, then there's no price ceiling. There's no price ceiling how much I can make. Yeah, but both can make a considerable amount. I mean, from what I've been doing, well, the middle princess has been going through her vet stuff. I was able to make like 500 a day from what I've been doing from selling photo sets and stuff. So I don't think I need a part-time job. I'll just say that, dude. I don't think I need a part-time job. I have other means of getting income and money. I think part-time job is like the slowest method I can go through. Not gonna lie. So I'm still gonna go through the methods I have in mind. I can't really think of many jobs where I can like make within $500 in a day. You know what I mean? So I'm gonna continue going with the methods I have in mind, but crowdfunding and also continue selling photo sets and stuff, and probably commissions and all that jazz. So yeah, I feel much more comfortable doing that than a part-time job. I had a part-time job for a bit and I didn't like it, so I have more faith in crowdfunding. Yeah. I don't get to make less money with a fucking part-time job. The time I could be using a part-time job could be used in other means to make money in other ways. That's why I chose freelance. You know, there's no ceiling of how much money you can make. Of course, it takes a whole lot more work to get your name out there, but the rewards can be really, they can pay off they can pay off a lot if you're willing to put in the work, and like you get some luck. Of course, it's not only just work. There's also like a luck involved and all that. But with where I'm standing, I think I'm fine. I'm good, dude. Don't worry about it. Don't worry about it, dude. Like I'm good. Whoop. I forgot about the art commission thing. I'm dumb sometimes. Yeah, dude, there's other means of making money. Don't worry, dude. I'm good. And here we have the thing I was looking forward to the most. It's Scott Pilgrim. All through the fucking shit. It's in all in color. I got this because it reads an announcement of the anime. The Netflix anime, which I think was cool. Because I had interest in Scott Pilgrim. Like the first thing I heard about when it comes to Scott Pilgrim was like the live action movie, which I believe is like Scott Pilgrim versus the World, right? And I saw the anime. I didn't watch the anime, but I heard that the anime, you know, it was announced, right? And but I've been interested in the comics for like a long time, right? And I thought, you know, now's the time to get it. It's 40% off at Midtown Comics. You know, I'll fucking buy it, dude. I'll fucking buy it. Come on. So I think this would be a really nice read to keep my mind off stuff. If my mind starts like kind of wallowing in itself, then I can read this. I got a whole fucking story, a whole fucking series to read. I've been meaning to read this for a long time. I never watched the live action. I felt like if I was gonna watch Scott Pilgrim, I probably want to experience it for the first time on the comic, right? But then the anime was announced. I'm like, shit, I could experience it for the first time in the anime, but that kind of increased my interest even more in the comics. And then I think I could be wrong because, you know, internet fucking you can't take everything at face value. I believe I saw on Twitter that someone took a screenshot of like the creator of Scott Pilgrim. They took a screenshot of his Instagram story, and I believe the Instagram story said something along the lines of like, the anime is different from the comic. The anime is its own thing. Obviously, it's an adaptation of the comic, but if you want the comic is there. The anime is also treated as its own thing. So I'm like, you know what? I'll just read the fucking comic then. I'll read the comic. So here we are. Scott Pilgrim is amazing, says Mantis. My sister brought all the books. Yeah! I believe they have like a hardcover, like they have a hardcover like books of the color edition, but I saw that they had this, which is paperback colors, paperback of the colored version of the comic. I mean, sorry, my bad. And I think the hardcover colored editions had like extra stories, but I think it would have been like significantly more expensive if I bought the hardcovers. And also just hardcovers are more heavy, and with the amount of fucking books I own from this haul alone, like I have a lot of manga, guys. I have a lot of manga and just other like informational books. I have a lot of those. So hardcover just adds to the weight. So I just thought, oh, I'll get the paperback if I want to read the extra like the extra scenes. I'll probably just read it online. Okay, I already paid for these books. If they like, okay, I paid for the books. If they want to make months off the freaking extra stories, and they should have put on this one. This is like a full set. And why do you include it in the hardcover colored the hardcover versions of the colored comics, but you don't put in this one? Like, sorry, it's on you guys. That was a bad choice on your end. I'm just gonna read the extra comics online. Okay, sorry. Like, I paid for these books. I feel like if you're gonna do another like full collection, you probably should put the extra comics in it. I don't know that truly is the case. It's just based off what I like quickly researched online. That's what I quickly researched online for like, you know, which version of Scott Pilgrim should you get? You know what I mean? And there's a hardcover ones, which he said they had the extra comics, and then, you know, there's this version, which I thought was like the best option for me. Was the best option for me. So I'm excited to read this. I think this is the first thing I'm gonna read. This is the first thing I'm gonna read. I have some extra Full Metal copies. Rent a Girlfriend. Ooh, I have the first Rent a... Oh, this is Rent a Shy Girlfriend. I have the first... sorry, I have my mic. I have the first copy of Prison School now. And then I'm gonna read this. I want to read that one. I don't have the first copy of this. And this one. Oh my god. The art style screams like demon art. Like 2000s demon art, dude. It screams that. It is crazy. Like, bro. The art style. Like, it's not bad. But it's just like, yeah. It hits a vibe. It hits, you know, hella 2000s, yeah. Oh, maybe my autofocus is kind of wacky. But... oh my god, maybe I should have just not done autofocus, because it's all fucking clear now. And I'm like near the end of the stream. God, Jesus Christ. Oh well, okay. But yeah, I read this once. I forgot where I read it. Was it a book? Was it a physical book? I think I read it online. But I didn't expect to enjoy this as much as I did. I didn't expect to, but I did. Because it's like, this is not a Japanese creator. I think it's like a... are they Slovakian? Is it a Slovakian author? Why is this? Oh shit, my bad. Wait, how do you want me to read this? Do you want me to read it fucking backwards, or the fuck? Why is this upside down, bro? Is this a print error, bro? Look, front cover. Open it up. Shit's upside down. Oh, but this one's not. They add extra? You can see how fucking this dates it hella. I mean, like, they have the same pages. Like, they have these pages which is upside down, and then they have it again, but it's like the right way up. So I get. Okay, I'm not gonna argue. Like, okay, this still has the right. Okay, yeah, very 2000s, the fucking glob, right? But I didn't expect to like it as much, but I did, because like this manga is made, obviously I don't think it's not Japanese. It's from like maybe a Slovakian artist. I don't remember. Is Slovakia the right word? I don't fucking know, man. I'm American. We don't fucking know too much outside our country. We don't hear too much. Let's be fucking real. But I really like this one because it is, as you, if you can tell, with the fucking glomp shit, the fucking glomp me. This is like anime convention based, drama con, fucking con, This is very like anime convention, right? A whole lot of like, oh, cosplay, we're hanging out at a con. Oh, I'm tabling selling my art there, my doujinshis. I love that shit. So, and it's like based off like I'm assuming, is this American conventions or like, because Tokyo Pop, I think Tokyo Pop is an American company, or is it like mainly an American one? Like maybe they have different branches in other countries, but isn't like heavily like an American like publisher, I think. Let's see. Anyways, but I really like this because it's all about like, you know, I believe it's a romance, but it's like based in like heavily around anime conventions and stuff. And I love anime conventions, dude. I think that's cool. I enjoyed it a lot. It is very fucking, oh my god. It feels nostalgic. The fucking art style, dude. It's like the fucking demon art ass. Like 2000s. It's interesting. I thought that was like, I thought that was cool. It's charming. It's charming, dude. I hope this manga doesn't explain the bad shittery that happens at furry-con elevators. No, it's not. It is not. This is like anime convention. This is not furry convention. Yeah. This ain't a furry-con. Well, yeah. I think I explained everything I could about the situation with Bintess and the vet. This went up for like 2 hours, like 2.5 hours, yeah. I'm probably gonna be reading these. Maybe I can read these during the hurricane. If like our power goes out and we have light, I can read these. I have so much fucking things to read. So many things. Well, actually, hold on. Because not all these are like first volumes. I can read Scott Pilgrim. I can read this one. I can read DramaCon. I can read this. I can read this. No, not these. I can read, excuse me, Prison School, because I got the first volume. I believe I read the first one in this series. But I think there's another 2 books to come before this, so I don't know if I can read these without reading the other 2. But I plan to buy it anyway, so maybe I can yahar the fucking like the previous 2 books before this, because I plan to buy it anyway, so I'll get them when it's on sale. I can read Rent's a Shy Girlfriend. I can do that one. Not these ones. These are like middle volumes, 9 and 10. Oh, the reason also, like I clarified each time. The reason why these are just like random sporadic volumes. Like I have a 2 and 15 here. A Full Metal Alchemist, like 17. I have 17. I have 3. There's just 7 in here. It's cause like when the bookstore I buy my books from, my manga, Midtown Comics, when they have like a really good sale, like 40 or 50% off, they don't do like all the books in the series, right? They have like random sporadic volumes. So what I've been doing is just I buy from their shop and I'll just buy the random sporadic volumes, and over time they'll just collect. They'll just all collect the different volumes, and at one point I'll have enough volumes to where like I complete the collection. So like I have a whole lot of like random sporadic volumes. There's like 9 and 10 of Rent a Girlfriend. There's 9 and 10, and I think I have like 15, 16, 17. I think 12 and 11. And I think like 2 and 3 or some shit like that, so. But I still have a whole lot of things here to read. There's a whole lot of things I can start here. Huh, the art style looks familiar. This one? Are you talking about this one? This is the same author of like My Lesbian Experience with Loneliness, which I think is like the big one that made him pop off pretty hard. They popped off pretty hard with that one. It's the same author. It's just a continuation of their series, yeah. From the best-selling author of My Lesbian Experience with Loneliness, My Soul Exchange Diary, and My Alcoholic Escape from Reality. Yeah, I still need to buy My Soul Exchange Diary. I already have the first one, the My Lesbian Experience with Loneliness. I already have the first one, but I need the second. I think it's like 2 books, actually. I think My Soul Exchange Diary is 2 different books, so 2 parts. So I need to buy that one. I'm probably just gonna read it online first. Not gonna lie. If I still have internet, I'll read that, and then I'll read this because I'm gonna fucking buy it anyway. I'll just do a little Yahar, a little fucking sailing the 7 seas, boys. Do that for a bit, and then I'll just buy it when it goes on sale. They're gonna get my money anyway. They're gonna get my money at one point, so I don't feel bad about pirating it. That's how it is. That's how it is. I watched this one. Skim and Loafer. I watched the anime I was just airing. It was really nice. I liked this. It was really sweet. It was really sweet. Skim and Loafer I think is a nice like more calm like romance. It's not as like heavy on the drama. It's just more like wholesome, I guess. It's like country girl, very optimistic country girl goes to the city. And like, you know, high schoolers being high schoolers, kind of standoffish, but they're all just kind of befriend her really easily. I think I spat a bit. They befriend her really easily because she's just like very optimistic and very like, ooh, like what's this? Oh my god, we don't have this like bubble tea places and like in my country fucking bumpkin town area, right? So she gets really excited, like, oh my god, like a fucking mall, like a big clothing store, crazy. And everyone's just like, oh, that's sweet. You know, she's so genuine, right? So, I really like Skim and Loafer. It is a romance. There is romance, like obviously the main 2 right here. But it's not like drama heavy. It's a very slow burn. It's a very slow burn. And they both have their own issues to like, how to go about dating. It's not like there's a different kind of like conflict with these 2 because you know like I really like romance manga. I really like romance, but the thing is, it's very hit or miss. It's very hit or miss for me. Either like dislike the romance, or if I like it, I like binge it, but I completely forget about it. I completely blank out. And then there's like romance I really really love. Like I feel like romance is more likely to hit like my top anime. Just because I love romance so much, but it's so hit and miss. Hit or miss. Like one of my I think is it like one of my top handful of anime. I don't number my anime, but it's pretty high up there. Lovely Complex. I love Lovely Complex. I really like Lovely Complex. There's another anime called Bokuri ga Ita, which not many people know about. It's very very like niche like thing. But what other romance do I like? I forgot. I really like romance when it clicks with me. But this one's really sweet. As opposed to like the standard conflict you would get in a romance of like, oh my god, misunderstandings. Oh, if I just listen into the conversation for like 5 more seconds, I would hear the whole conversation and I would understand. Like, it's one of the, one of those like anime shit, you know what I mean? If you watch like if you read like I can imagine it's probably prevalent in like a live action Japanese stuff too. But like my anime and manga, the romance they really like lean on the whole like misunderstanding. Oh, I didn't hear the last sentence of that conversation, and that last sentence would have cleared things up easily. It's a lot of like, oh, here's another love interest kind of thing. These 2 characters are too shy or whatever, you know what I mean? Like they have cold feet, they're not gonna confess to each other, no, all that jazz, you know. Same shit like in many different romance, right? But in Skip and Loafer, it's mostly not really a matter of like misunderstanding. Well, there is a degree to misunderstanding. It's more so of like different people, different perspectives, different like experiences. How one person views one thing and how another person views another thing is different, kind of thing. People's different like love languages, and how like they're teenagers, so they're still fucking growing, they're still learning shit. So like, it's that, which is a lot more understandable than the whole like, ooh, the usual fucking like romance conflict. This is a very like, I think a very human thing. The ways that there are conflict is very human. It's not necessarily because like I overheard them talking to a friend of theirs, and they said, "Oh, she doesn't see me as a friend. She sees me as a best friend." But I didn't hear the last part. I only heard that she doesn't see me as a friend, and then someone got my attention, dragged me away, kind of thing. You know what I mean? That's that dumb shit, right? This is more like a I'm inexperienced, like there's like I'm inexperienced, like does this person really actually like me, or is it like a kind of just misinterpretation, or just like, are you just comfortable around me and shit, or like do we really, what kind of feelings are these, you know what I mean? And I like that. It's just like, I like that. Skip and Loafer is good, man. Skip and Loafer is good. It is a slow burn, but it doesn't feel dragged. It feels like these characters have to develop in order to you know, be in a relationship, because they're just figuring themselves out, kind of thing. Not dumb misunderstandings and shit. Skip and Loafer is goodie. It's goodie. I didn't expect to like it so much, but I did. You read Spy Family? No, I have not. I don't read it. I'm caught up with the anime though. I don't know if I enjoy Spy Family enough to buy the manga. I might consider buying it digitally. For manga that I'm more into, I like to buy the physical. And there's a lot. I got quite a bit here. Yeah. But for the series that I like and I want to read and support, but I don't necessarily want to have books of, because every time I build books, there's like, this takes up space, and I have to move this at one point, you know, whenever I had to move houses, and it's like, I had to package all this shit, and books are heavy, dude. They add up and weight real fast. But yeah, so if like if I want to read it still, but I'm not too particularly like invested in getting a physical copy of it, I'll just like buy the digital. What are your thoughts on it? My thoughts? I enjoy Spy Family a lot. Yeah, I enjoy Spy Family. I keep up with it. I try to watch it when it comes out. I watch it when it airs. Damien, I love Damien. He's cute. I love Damien. Favorite character. I love my little tsundere boys. I love tsundere boys. He's my son. Arietti says, I wasn't able to bring a lot of my books because of how heavy they got. Yeah, basically, right? That's why I have to be picky with like the books I buy. I say I have to be picky, but then I buy all this. So like, then again, like this is different from like all the things I want to read, but I'm not invested enough to buy the books. But some of them I do want to buy the books. Like this one I never read before. This is like one of the few exceptions where like I don't know how well it is. So if I don't end up liking it that much, I sell it. I can easily sell stuff in line. I bought manga books and then I sold it off. You know what I mean? I bought them because like, ooh, they're on sale and I'm buying from the shop anyway. I'm buying a whole bunch. I may as well buy this. If I don't like it, I sell it. So this one I don't have the first copy of. I have like the second and the fourth. So I haven't read it yet. But if I don't like it, I'll just sell it. This one, this seems like, I think after the first book of this popped off super hard, I think the publisher 7 Seas was looking for manga similar to it. And I read another manga that's similar, like coloring and stuff and kind of art style. It's called like, I married my best friend to like please my parents, or so my parents would shut up or some shit like that. I completely forgot I even had that. It was so boring, dude. Not gonna, sorry, like to the artist. I don't mean to shit on the artist, but like it was so cliche, if I remember correctly. I couldn't really get into it, so yeah, I sold that one off. And then there's this one, which is like, I might like this one. If I don't, then I'll sell it. But it seems like there is like multiple books that were like, there are multiple books that were like, they seem like they were published because of how much like the first one, this one popped off, the first book in the series. So they started picking up similar books. So okay, did my call it back? It's kind of, hello, welcome. I am done talking about the not so great stuff. So I'm just discussing all the manga because, you know, I couldn't really discuss the manga when I was opening it up and stuff. So we're discussing it, but I'm ending soon. I'm ending stream soon. Yeah, got Prison School. I think I have like the other copies of Prison School, but I can never read it because I don't have the first copy. But I finally have the first copy, so I can finally start fucking reading it. I think I have like 7. I think I have like copy 7. I think I have like 3 other copies of Prison School. Not in order, of course, because like I said, they're all sporadic volumes, so I can finally read that. Yeah. Yeah. I don't know what else to say at this point. I feel like I done, you know. That's it. The stream. Oh, wait. Urusei Yatsura. Urusei Yatsura. I got into Urusei Yatsura from the reboot, and I enjoyed it. Oh, I didn't expect to enjoy it so much, but I fucking enjoy Urusei Yatsura. I think mainly because of like the big appeal is Lum and Ataru. Lum is basically like the best representation or like idea of what kind of vibes I want from like my Sona, my persona, because there's like just girl vibes from Lum. I don't know, because she's very, and there's a vibe to her that is just so good, and I want that in my persona. That's like the closest way if I want to describe my persona. Lum is that, like there's a vibe. I wouldn't say necessarily Lum's personality, but just her vibe. That's what I want for my Sona. Her vibes are good. Yeah, the vibes are good with Lum. And also, like, I like Ataru because it's not really apparent in the original source material in the manga, but in the reboot's animation, his character design is like very very close to how I designed my boyfriend's Sona, my boyfriend's persona. So essentially, like, seeing Ataru, the male love interest of the story, seeing Ataru in Urusei Yatsura, the reboot animated, is like the closest thing I can see to like my own creation being animated, because he's so close to how I designed my boyfriend's persona. It is like, yeah. So I got the whole like Lum being like, yeah, Lum gender, basically, says Kana. Lum gender. Basically that. The vibes I want from Lum, I want with my persona. And then like Ataru, the way Ataru is animated in the fucking reboot, looks very, very, very similar to how I designed my boyfriend's persona. So it was like very like coincidentally connected to my own creations. You know what I mean? My own creations, and I think that's why I latched onto it so hard. I mean, also, I don't know, because like Urusei Yatsura in general is like a fun, like, you know, a fun series. It's popular for a reason, but like, yeah, then I have my own personal connections to it, kind of thing. So I love Urusei Yatsura. I'm excited. They're continuing the reboot on I think early 2024. Yeah, I think that's it. Anything you guys want to ask, or like anything you want me to show you like in depth with all the manga I got? If not, then I'm gonna leave, and then Hurricane's gonna come up in the next few days. So good luck to me. Let's see how that goes. I think Category 3 is what it's predicted to be. Hurricane Ian, which hit us, was like I think a Category 4, almost Category 5. So, I mean, I think I mentioned it earlier. I don't think I can mention it again. I mentioned it earlier when I was already speaking about, you know, this shit before, but I don't think I have to mention it again. Kana's here, so I don't want to bring their mood down. I already said it before, so. Still getting Hurricane Hillary's hitting California right now. How is that? Has that calmed down to like a tropical storm? Because that's been, I heard news from that for like a few days ago, I think. Has it calmed down at all? Has that shit calmed down? It hasn't hit NorCal, so I don't, oh, okay. Because I think like once it hits land, because like I heard it's like, to my understanding, it's the ocean that keeps it like going, that keeps its strength, but once it hits land, there's no more things to keep no more power for the hurricane to maintain its momentum. So once it hits land and goes, and then like it kind of calms down. I don't know. I don't know for sure. That could be wrong. I thought that was the case, but it's mostly in the south. Okay. Yeah. Oh yeah, sorry if I came across a bit insensitive there. My bad. Oh, what? I didn't see, I didn't hear anything. No worries. Oh, you're like talking about like no. I don't know. No worries, alright. There's nothing. You didn't do anything wrong. The fact that I'm like, huh? The fact that I'm like, oh, what was insensitive is a good sign that like, yeah. Oh, I said I enjoyed the stream, but it was a grieving one. Oops. Oh no, that's fine, dude. That's fine. I mean, like, I don't want people to like, obviously, like, it's a grieving stream, right? But it's not like I want people to feel bad afterwards, you know? Like, I'm still trying to unbox manga. Like, I don't want people to feel bad. Like, obviously, like, talking about this kind of stuff, it is not a very, like, easy topic to discuss. But if you can find enjoyment out of it, yeah, that's good. It's good. No, that's good. You know what I mean? I'm just opening up my situation and we're talking about manga. Yeah. We can have like our little moments, but you know, you can still find enjoyment and value out of them in its weird way, even if it's not like a usual enjoyment of like. I'm kind of rambling here, but if you enjoy it, that's good. Like, I don't want people to not enjoy these streams. You know what I mean? I want them, if they're gonna watch, I hope they enjoy it to some degree. Whether it's like, they don't like hearing, you know, the situation I'm going through, but they want to learn. You know what I mean? Because you know, they're concerned because cat, or because you know they're curious, just like you know, of the situation, or you know they care about my content and they're kind of they like my stuff and me as my personality and they want to hear more about the shit. So you know, no worry, no problem, my dude. No worry, no problem. Ooh, she's cute. Look how cute she is. Bro, she's cute. Who is she? I'm excited to learn who she is. But she looks like she could be a bitch. I'm all for that. I heard like the writers and like I heard that like, you know, I heard that Scott Pilgrim is not supposed to be like a likable character necessarily. He's not supposed to be like a, oh, I fight for my friends. Like, he's a dude. Maybe kind of like a little bit of a douchebag, but he's a dude. You know what I mean? You know, I can appreciate that. So I can imagine the characters in this are probably maybe more human in that regard. You know what I mean? Like, not everyone's like a freaking shiny, sparkling example of being a nice person. But I feel like, yeah, it's good to have like those kind of characters, but also like, you know, variety is a spice of life. So maybe every once in a while, we have some like asshole characters, you know? We have characters that are not the best people, but you know, that's more human. Sometimes you want some escapism, you want some good people to have good vibes, and sometimes you just want like human characters. That's the vibes I'm getting. I don't know if that is the case, but that's the vibes I'm getting from Scott Pilgrim. So. Well, if no one else has anything, no questions or anything like that, I can end the stream here. I have updated, I think that girl was in the animation of Scott Pilgrim. Ooh, is it? Did she appear in the trailer? That's good. I want to see her animated. She's cute. If she continues wearing that outfit, she's cute. So, thank you guys for watching. I don't know if I'll keep this VOD up. I mean, don't be surprised if I end up taking this VOD down for any reason at all. You know, obviously I discussed a very personal thing, and I don't necessarily mind sharing that on a personal level. It's more so of like people online. You know what I mean? God, you guys, like, you know, my concern of like, you think people would be, you know, decent human beings and respect like, oh, someone's grieving. You won't be an asshole about it, right? But did you guys get a whiff of like what happened to Jacksepticeye when like one of his family members passed? I didn't look into it too much, but I heard it was a big enough thing where like, you know, people outside the circle heard about it. You know, outside his like his targeted demographic or his audience heard about it. But if I remember correctly, I could be wrong. You know, look into it. Don't trust my paraphrasing at surface, you know, at face value. But if I remember correctly, Jacksepticeye, he like, I think a family member of his passed, right? And obviously Jacksepticeye was like, you know, hey guys, this shit happened. You know, please be patient with me, or you know, whatever he needs to do, right? The things that come with mourning and like, okay, I'm not gonna be readily available, right? Motherfuckers, apparently there was an issue of people in his comments being a huge fucking asshole and be like, haha, your family died, your family member died or whatever. And there are people making bot accounts to spam his YouTube comments with that, of just like nagging at him, like poking at him. Like, haha, your family member is dead, or you know, something along those lines. It wasn't exactly, but it's so it's so fucked. It is so fucked. You would think, just but the bare minimum, you think everyone can kind of agree. Okay, your loved one died. Handle that respectfully. But no, the internet's a fucking internet. There's fucking assholes, you know, online. And there's plenty of people online, but the assholes stand out because, you know, negativity stands out. So like the fact that there's that many of them causing that much of an issue, or maybe it's the bots, but it's like, bro, the dude can't even fucking grieve without people being a fucking asshole about it, dude. Come on. I think we can all agree. I don't think it takes, I don't even know it's a really cultural thing. Not even, it's not like some, you know, some cultures, they have different values on like, is prostitution legal? Is prostitution ethical? You know what I mean? There's different cultures, you know. Some cultures, like, talking about money is taboo. And then some cultures talk about money is fine. You know what I mean? I don't think it's really cultural difference to understand that the loss of a loved one is hard. I think many cultures can understand that. So, like, some people being that fucked and be like, haha, your dad's dead. Or like, I think it was his dad. I don't remember exactly. It's like, dude, what the fuck? So like, me on a personal level, like, I'm fine with this thing out there. You know what I mean? I say I'm fine with that, but maybe that'll change later on. Because right now I'm still relatively small on YouTube. My following's on Twitter. You know what I mean? My majority of my following's on Twitter. I'm still big enough to stay within my bubble kind of thing. But that's the thing. It's like when you do stuff like this, like even if you're personally fine with it, they're like the internet. Some people online can take it to such a extreme, unpalatable like turn. You know what I mean? Like Jacksepticeye's issue about people like fucking being a huge fucking dick about like his dad passing. Like, you don't, oh my god. So that's why for like this VOD, like I'll keep it up. If there's a reason that I you know, if for some reason I decide later on like I don't feel comfortable with this staying up, then I'll take it down. You know what I mean? I'll take it down. But for the time being, I'll keep it up. You know. So it's possible this VOD will go down. I find value. Yeah, I cannot list it. Yeah, that's true. I cannot list it. I'll keep it up. Yeah, we'll see. We'll see. Because like, I feel like there is value in being, in discussing situations like this. I feel like obviously I'm not saying that everyone should openly discuss their problems. You know what I mean? Like obviously, like something that's like the passing of a loved one is very obviously very fucking personal. I'm very hurt, you know, hurts a whole lot. Shit's painful. But like, I feel like if you are comfortable, I feel like there's value in being open about that shit. You know what I mean? Like I'm a very like, I think I try to be very genuine. I try to be very honest. Very open. I think I am at least. Like I'm not scared to share a lot of stuff. Other than for like personal privacy reasons, because there's fuckos out there that are fucking crazy, you know, that you know, people can use in whatever I share against me. Even now I'm like, can people somehow use this information I'm sharing against me? Personal information, you know what I mean? That's why like when I was mentioning vets, I didn't name the specific vet companies, because like anything that can like narrow down my location, people are fucked. Like 4chan's crazy. Oh my god, 4chan with like finding locations of people with like so little information. Oh my god, they're crazy. So yeah, for stuff like that, I like, if I had to take this down in the future, I will. But for now, I'll stay up. I'll stay up though. Maybe I'll go down tonight. Maybe I'll go down tomorrow morning. I don't know. Yeah. Well, you seem to be cool about it, so it's pretty good, says Dana. Thank you. Yeah, I feel like I have related to people online, you know, and I like when people are open about their situation online, you know, when like influencers, quote unquote influencers, or any kind of content creator opens up about their personal situation. Oftentimes, you would see like people respond to that, like in the comments or whatever, being like, "Yo, I really resonated with this. You know, it feels comforting to know that someone else is dealing with this thing. You know what I mean? It's not great to know that other people are suffering. You know what I mean? But there is like comfort in knowing like you're not the only one. You know what I mean? It's not just a you issue. And I can imagine people understand that conceptually level that yeah, obviously I'm not the only person in the world. You know what I mean? My issues are not unique to me, but when you actually hear it from other people, you know what I mean? Even people like people you follow, like if you follow like YouTubers and they talk about their experiences, it's like it humanizes us, you know? Yeah, it kind of says a form of solidarity. Yeah. So it's like it humanizes people, you know? So by me sharing all this, I feel like maybe someone can learn something from it, you know what I mean? Like when I talk about like my cat and her health conditions, I feel like I unfortunately had to learn, you know, about cat health and all that stuff and troubles the hard way. So I'm hoping that, you know, people can learn from that. If they don't, that's fine, you know, but I'm just saying like by being open, that people can find value out of like people being open about their experiences. Yeah. And if people find value out of this, great. If they don't, then that's fine too. But it's just like, at least I have it open. I have it out there, you know what I mean? I have it out there. So I know at one point I mentioned like this like all of Pentis's vet bills were very fucking expensive. I'm not gonna fucking like I'm not gonna sugarcoat that shit. It's like $10,000 to like $13,000. Jesus Christ, dude. So something I am going to look into for my next pet insurance. Jesus Christ, pet insurance. I'm gonna look into pet insurance. God fucking damn, guys. I don't have any experience with pet insurance, so I can't really have a confident comment on it and how reliable it is, how great it is. But guys, if you have a pet and if you have a pet, look into pet insurance, guys. Don't. Yeah. I don't have pet insurance. How common is it for pet? Yeah, exactly. Mantis asked pet insurance. How common is pet insurance? No one really talks about it. Yeah, right? Mantis asked, that's the thing. People don't talk about it. I don't think anyone like most people probably don't have pet insurance. But it's a thing. It's a thing. And it's not probably on my fault. Here it's pretty common. Daniel, what country do you live in if you don't mind me asking? Of course. Mantis lives in the States. I live in the States. Hispana. I'm not familiar with that. Is that a country? Oh, is that like a local term for the country? Spain. Oh, okay. I was wondering like, is this like a Nihon to like Japan? Okay. Well, seems like maybe pet insurance in your area is more commonplace, but in the States, it is not. It is not commonplace here. Mantis didn't even know it was a thing. Kayla doesn't even know it's a thing. It's not common here. So what I want to do at one point, with the next pet I have, whenever that happens, I feel like I have to move out first. Oh, you guys should be very wary of these things. You would think so. You see, like the States, dude, the States is really backwards. The States, for as much as like we're not going too much into it, the States, for how much it sucks its own dick, we are so fucking backwards with so many fucking fundamental things. Okay, without going too much, the States is whack, dude. The fucking I hate the States is wild. Okay, it's a fucking wild west here. Anyways, without going too much into that, yeah, like. Yeah, Akana says, I remember how we were like, oh, Pentis is so energetic, we probably don't need insurance soon. I think it's more so of like, I wasn't too pushed to get insurance because I felt like, granted, that doesn't be an issue. I would say that is fault with me. And I feel like, because she's so old, I feel like if we got insurance, it'd be expensive anyway. You know what I mean? And also, it's like, also the I don't know if they, like, their pet insurance needs like a full, like, body, like, analysis of like, hey, we know your cat's pretty old, so we need to know how your pet is doing health wise so we can properly, charge you correctly. And I'm like, I don't know if that's what they do, but ignorance, that was very, like, I would say it's a fault on my part. I won't lie about that. That's a fault. But now I'm suffering. So 10K plus bill. But it is what it is. I'm working through it, you know what I mean? But pet insurance. Pet insurance, that's what the next thing I'm gonna look into for my next pet whenever that happens. It is something I want to help teach others. I want to put more awareness of. That's one of the things I really want to do with my platform, as I grow as a content creator, is that I want to be open about the resources there is to take care of your pets, because it's frustrating to know that a lot of people in the States don't get their pets proper healthcare because it's expensive, right? That's what happened to my previous cat, unfortunately. That is where I have like a whole lot of guilt and regret from. So I want to learn about pet insurance, and hopefully with my platform, help spread awareness of like, hey guys, these options are available. It's not that difficult. Well, from my experience, it's not that difficult. Defang the idea of some stuff to be like, hey, if you get pet insurance, and then might reduce how expensive the vet bills are and make you more likely to go get your vet checked. So that's something I need to look into. That's something I really want to do with like the cat cafe. That's a big motivation for the cat cafe I want to open up one day. If you guys are familiar with the cat cafe, I feel like anyone who's like watched at least like a few streams would know about me mentioning the cat cafe, because I mention it so fucking often. It's a dream of mine, dude. Kana and I, we want to open up a cat cafe where like it actually, it's like a glorified cat adoption center with the cafe. So obviously there's like one section of the area that's like cats, and then there's another section of the area that's the cafe. So what I really want to do is not only like, motivation is taking care of cats, giving people job security, giving cats a better life, having them be like, have them up for adoption, give people opportunity to play with the cats while the cats are up for adoption. Food, obviously, Kana wants a cafe. I think a cafe is cool, but obviously I'm not into cooking enough to dedicate my time into it. But if Kana's there to like carry the cafe part, and I do like all the business end, and they handle like all the actual like, food shit, you know what I mean? And I can work on the business shit, you know what I mean? So that's the plan. I hope with the cat cafe I can help give information about like the available resources for pet owners of like, hey, here are the local vets. Here are the vets that focus on this issue and this issue. We recommend checking your pets yearly if they're young, or like the yearly checkups and they get older. Do like semi-annual checkups and all this. We take these like tests, take blood tests, take x-rays, and da-da-da. I hope that when I have the cat cafe, that is information I want to provide. You know what I mean? I want to provide that information to any cat owners, even if they don't adopt cats from our cat cafe. I want that information to be readily available for people, so people can take more of their pets, take care of their pets better, particularly cats, because it's a cat cafe. You know what I mean? I'm not saying that I don't want dogs to be happy, obviously, but it's like it's a cat cafe, so we provide for the cats. You know what I mean? So. Don't let the cat near the coffee. Yeah, we're gonna have rules about like drinks and stuff. We're gonna look into it. Obviously, the cat section is separate from the cafe section. That's the current plan. So, we will look into that. Yeah, if like, because we were considering the idea of like people can just bring drinks into the cat area, but maybe depending on if like there's really concerning drinks that like if cat just like took a few sips out of it, they would be like, that's highly toxic to them. They can go to fucking hospital. Like, we'll see. Yeah, no, we'll see. We'll it's something we have to do a lot more research into when we get there. Maybe it's like don't go into the cat area. No kids with drinks. Like it has to be like it has to be an adult. Or under adult supervision, so like the adult can quickly clean up. before the cats can drink it or some shit like that, you know? And it's not often that people spill their drinks, especially if like the cups are like lidded. Like a lot of like boba, like bubble drinks are. But then again, like another thing I want to do with the cafe is like look into sustainable options. I want to make it like a really safe, like, or like a environmentally friendly cafe. There's so many things I want to do. A huge focus on that shit with the cafe, because you know, like, food industry produces so much fucking waste. Food industry produces so much waste from what I know. I worked at like a food service for a little bit. Oh my god. Like I don't even think they're the worst of it either. There's so much food waste that comes out of it. Even just like, you know, preparing ingredients and like cutting the ingredients. There's like food waste that comes out of it. You know what I mean? You cut the ends of the carrots. You cut the ends of strawberries. All that shit. They're thrown out. But the cafe won't try to like compost that shit. You know what I mean? And we'll figure out ways to go about it. But strong motivation for the cat cafe. Business. Just because I like business, obvious. I just like business as in general. That's like what I enjoy. Cats, because I love cats. Sustainability, being eco-friendly. I want to put that in the cat cafe. And yeah, and Kana with the food part. Yeah, the cafe, which I like. I like cafes. The whole food and cafe thing is nice, but obviously I don't know enough about it, or am personally interested in running one enough to learn and spearhead that. But since Kana is doing all the food stuff, that's fine. It's cool. You know what I mean? Cafe near the vet. For us, I think, of course, we'll have to research it when it gets closer. But we feel like for a cafe, for that to do well, the cafe I can imagine would probably have to be like maybe like a downtown area, or like an area that has like a lot of foot traffic. A lot of people are there. Near like a college city, college town kind of thing, you know what I mean? We'll see how it goes with the location. We'll see. Like, obviously there's gonna be local vets like in the city or town that we're in, you know what I mean? And we can provide like you know, papers that'd be like, hey, or like pamphlets or like booklets that'd be like, hey, these vets are available in these locations, and these specialize in this and that. You can find these services there. We recommend that you register with the vet ahead of time. Do checkups annually if your baby is like 1 to 5 years old or something. 5 to 10 years old, like do them check semi-annual and all that kind of shit. We want to have all the information readily available and makes it that much easier for people to get their fucking cats taken care of, you know what I mean? Sorry. Fucking, there's like ants all over my cookie. I haven't eaten my cookie yet. There's fucking ants over it. It's fucking cringe. So. Anyways. Yeah, that's the gist of it. Fucking, oh my god, there's so many fucking ants. Bitches, fuck off. Okay, anyways. Yeah, I feel that's it for the stream. I should start preparing for the hurricane tonight. And get some food. I need to eat. So, anything else you guys want to ask? Any questions, or you know, how to end this off, or you know, any other jazz before whatever the next time I stream? I don't know when the next time I'll stream, but yeah, I'll do what I can. Because obviously I'm still grieving Princess's passing, so I'm not gonna be as readily active, but I still want to get work done because I feel like it will be a great, you know, distraction. I think getting not just sitting around and wallowing in myself is gonna improve anything. I feel like, excuse me, it's another one. 7 burps. Obviously, let the emotions go through. Let the emotions flow. Go through the grieving process, but don't wallow in it. So that's what I'm trying to do. I do want to work because I enjoy working. I do enjoy working. So I want to do that. Just probably at a slower pace. Because I'm obviously, you know, not the best condition, but you know, take care and obliterate those ants. Thank you. Yeah, I don't want to touch. I don't really want to touch the cookie, but I've been touching all these books, and like I opened up the package, and I feel like my hands are kind of gross. I don't want to touch my fucking food. But yeah, I need to take care of that because there are ants all over. There's quite a bit of ants. Hope you feel better soon and stay safe from the hurricane machine. Thank you. Yeah, I'll do my best. This is not my first hurricane experience as a person who's only lived in Florida for like a couple years that went through fucking Hurricane Ian. Crazy shit. Yeah. Take care, everyone. Thank you so much for joining. Thank you. I appreciate the watch. Thank you if you were able to go through listening to all that shit. You know what I mean? Me grieving. Thank you so much. I appreciate it. Thank you for the support. In watching my streams and shit. And I'll probably provide like a GoFundMe or crowdfunding campaign or something, information like on YouTube. I feel like I'll probably have better off like on Twitter, because that's where most of my following is. But yeah, so I'll update when I can. I'll do what I can. I'll try to keep working to keep my mind active and, you know, kind of distracted, not wallow. You know what I mean? So take care, everyone. Thank you so much for joining. Thank you for your condolences. I appreciate it. Don't worry about me too much. Like, I obviously appreciate the concern, but you know, that's just part of the grieving process. You know, time goes on. I'm glad I don't have any regrets and guilt with Princess's passing. At least on my end, you know what I mean? And like how I handled Princess's situation. So I'll get better. I'm sure she wouldn't want me to wallow around. And I'll go through the grieving process, and then I'll continue, move forward. You know, time goes on. Time goes on. At one point I'll have another kitty to give a wonderful life to. I'll spoil a fucking treat like a fucking god. I'll treat them like royalty. I give them all the love. I love cats. My goal is to give as many cats as possible happy lives. I want to give every cat sport. Yeah, every cat is royalty. The Egyptians knew what's up. Egyptians knew what they were doing when they were fucking like worshiping cats. Cats are fucking great. I love them. You can't convince me otherwise. I love cats. They deserve everything. They deserve the fucking world. So cats are so fun. Oh my god, cats. I fucking love cats, dude. I fucking love cats. So yeah. Thank you guys so much for coming to the stream, and for anyone that, you know, even people that didn't stick around because, you know, obviously the topic is difficult. I still appreciate them even stopping in, even just, you know, being concerned, all that kind of stuff, you know. So thank you guys for watching. Have a good one. I'm gonna prepare for the hurricane. I have plenty of things to read after the fucking electricity goes out. Bye. Take care.